Hello, everybody. Welcome to the inventory. I'm your host, Rinka Best Girl, and with me today, I have my co-host as usual, SPNatI. Why don't you say hello?
What's up?
And joining me for what is this? The third, fourth time?
He's been here a lot.
Yeah.
He's just riding the heels of Namasp, who was on last time, or not really. Almost.
And Masp and a half. Our resident furry, Opal Kobold.
What a warm introduction. Hello, all.
And joining us for the first time is the resident second secret furry, Uzumoe. Why don't you say hello?
I hate you so much. What's up?
All right.
I have to just let you know, this isn't a real podcast. We just brought you here to kill you.
The execution begins.
Dang it, let's go
Yiff
first.
in hell.
So, for those who are listening to the podcast for the first time, let's go over what you've done. Opal, why don't you start us off?
I made Nehru solo, did all the art for Lara Shell, who I've been mocked multiple times for mispronouncing her name. And did
Don't
a bunch
worry,
of stuff on
if there's a comma in somebody's name, it's a freebie. You don't have to
An
pronounce
apostrophe,
it, right?
Johan.
Damn it!
I told you the same exact thing the last time you said that. Why don't you remember the things I tell you?
I don't remember what I had for
You're not my real dad.
Of course you don't remember what you had for breakfast. That's not important.
Okay. So
then made Leggy and have been spamming the server with weird furry models that like 3 people love.
Yeah, man, you got to stop with that. We're gonna need to ban you.
Oh, please.
and
This is a family-friendly server.
yeah, absolutely.
Space Jam is family friendly.
So Uzu, why don't you explain what got you your purple name recently?
I'm a co-writer for Leggy the Lamb.
For reference,
I had the
a
pleasure.
purple name means that you did something for the game
Yeah,
Yes.
on Discord.
I co-wrote Leggy the Lamb with Opal Kobold. Great guy. A pleasure to work with.
I'm right here.
Whoa, who
All
was
right.
that? It was a ghost.
And with introductions out of the way, let's go on to the changes in SPNatI over the last 2 weeks. Wow, the summer boom is real, isn't it? We got a lot going on this time. Starting out, Futaba got a brand new model again, and it got quick passed. So why don't you guys share your thoughts on the new Futaba model?
Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
Can we talk about how Futaba has a pose called Chiaki? And I think Futaba and Chiaki are both the most redesigned characters.
Well, Chiaki also has a pose called Futaba.
Even better. Is that why?
Well, the thing is...
They're just sisters and constantly getting their models changed?
Nmasp and I, or like a million years ago, well, like probably at the start of this year, Nmasp... I don't know. I don't know exactly when it was. It was when she got her first model update. And Nmasp was like, hey, Joe, what if we make a special interaction between Futaba and Chiaki where they have a bet, and whichever one of them lasts the longest gets to wear one of the other's accessories. If Chiaki wins, she wears Futaba's headphones. If Futaba wins, she gets Chiaki's hairpin for a stage. So, Opal, what are your thoughts on Futaba's new model?
I mean, I definitely like it. I think it's a lot more in line with the other franchise mates models. I don't know what to say. I think it's an improvement. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. Uzu, what about you?
As I blurted out before, absolutely gorgeous. I like the constant bar raising for new content. As the game progresses, I've noticed that the models are just continually getting better and better and better, even with characters that have already had absolutely beautiful models.
Mm-hmm. We got a lot of model updates this time around.
SPNatI,
what about you? What are your thoughts on the new Futaba model?
We've been getting a lot of model updates because people keep raising the bar. I gotta say, it feels like, I don't know, maybe the start of it was like when Amalia came out over a year ago, or it's just like, or it's really like the second half of last year. I think that like the Kisake skills just really started to explode.
You
And
know what
there's
it
like,
was? You know
what?
the exact moment happened?
No, I don't know.
When Viz gave us 99 of everything.
Is
Oh,
it?
God bless Viz.
When was that?
What was it? It was his first custom Kisakai moment.
Okay, by the way, what he means is that Vision, one of our lead mods and programmers, basically hacked into Kisake offline that we used and expanded the limits on stuff like belts and hair pieces.
I'm surprised his brain didn't explode.
Can you remember when we only had 30? God damn.
Yeah, how did we?
Yeah, Lara Shell's model was made with only 30 of everything.
How do you
How
make
did-
fucking anything with only 30?
Exactly.
Image inputs.
Okay, I think that it was around. Oh, when
Lara
was
Shell's
it?
model was made in December, so it would be right around then. November, December timeframe.
All right. Yeah, I can't remember exactly.
Which incidentally is when my skill level went from Nehru to Lara Shell. So
I'm sorry, I
Right.
just remembered Naryu.
Yeah, I remember it too.
That was like episode 6 or something.
Yeah, I was real early on.
Holy shit, now we're on 33.
I
Can
think
you
that
feel it, Opal? You've been around for like a year.
yeah, I'm almost a year old at this point.
Oh, I
How
think
does it feel?
I'm coming up to my year of birthday too. Shit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So I think you've been around longer than that.
Oh shit, really?
I think so.
yeah, I'm pretty sure you were around before Opal.
Yeah.
Oh, I was. Haha, Opal, I'm older than you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the new
I
Futaba
don't
model?
know. I don't know if I just like don't like the Persona art style or something, but okay. Futaba does look better than she did the previous model. I kind of still feel like her original one was the cutest. I know
I
it was
get-
kind of defaulty.
I can understand that opinion. I don't. Right? I think that the Futaba models to me would go 1-3. Like the one she just lost was probably the weakest. Her original model was slightly better than that, but I think that the one she's got now is the one that I feel is the strongest.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Even if I don't necessarily agree with that, but I understand. But yeah, she definitely has much better expressions. I can say that compared to last time. I wonder if people are still going to compare her to Hank Hill,
Well, she lost the chin.
the chin cleft.
Yeah.
Bobby. Damn it, Bobby.
There was something on the feedback poll that I can't remember that like
I want her to
compared
sell me
something.
propane and propane accessories.
No, there was something other than comparing her to Hank Hill. it was
I'm a part of the Phantom themes, Bobby.
a gremlin or an imp or something like that.
Oh, well, yeah, everybody knows Futaba's a little gremlin.
I don't know.
She's best girl, of course.
I haven't had the chance to replay her in the game itself, but I took a look at all of her images, and yeah, I think she looks pretty strong now. Even if I think she might have been a little cuter to start with. But that's just me, and I'm not a whole lot. I'm not really attached to the source or source accuracy all that much, so my opinion isn't too valuable there.
She's not Maya, therefore.
I think I have a bit of a bias toward like what how Futaba started out with, because she was like when I started working on this, she was like the newest character.
I think she was around the time I got back, or the time I was leaving the first time.
That's all I remember. She was the newest character in the game when I like downloaded it and started working on it and looking at it.
Speaking of you working on the game, we got 2 big model updates from you this since last time.
They weren't that big.
Hush.
They were pretty decent. They were pretty decently big.
They did have to go through the quick pass, but
yeah. Let's start off with your wife, Maya.
Yes.
Paul, what are your thoughts on the new Maya model?
Oh yeah, I like it was fun giving my thoughts on like the armor and stuff as he was doing it. I definitely like how it turned
Yeah,
out though.
I really do appreciate everyone's feedback and help when I was like posting stuff in the Kisake Discord channels.
Still think her feet aren't pointy enough, but that's fine.
I'm not going to be a complete slave to the art style.
All right.
Like, how would you even delete stuff off of a model to make it more pointy? Like, you can add things. How do you delete stuff like
The
that?
character editor can chop off limbs.
Can it chop off
Did it?
sides of feet?
No.
Probably
Yeah,
not.
exactly. Have to Photoshop that shit.
So
Is she not worth it?
Is your wife not worth it in SPNAN? Come on.
That's time I could spend writing more lines.
She has enough.
I'm sorry, but we're
lines.
gonna have to take you. We're gonna have to take May away from you back to waifu protective services.
Shit. I blew it.
WPS.
Your waifu, WPS, hand over your waifus.
So Uzu, what do you think of Maya as a new model?
Did you say something?
So, May's new model, right? It's a lot cuter, in my opinion. I think just slight changes like that just worked beautifully, and she looks a lot better than she did. She was one of the first characters I played with about a year ago. She I believe my first table was Maya, Rinka, Zone, and someone else.
I think someone recommended Maya to you because she was like 2B.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe. It was
And it
another
wasn't me.
creator. It was another creator that actually suggested me the game through another Discord, and so seeing Maya progress as she has definitely been a wonderful experience. SPNan's one of the best writers we have for SPNatI, and artists, everything. Just does great work all the time. So still seeing her progress is great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
All right.
I definitely agree with Uzu on all of that. I really love that hair shine. How it curves. It's really cool looking.
I learned it by watching you.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I like the Chiaki method of doing it.
Nice.
Where it's just like basically whitish gray hair pieces on top of all the others.
Oh yeah, but Chiaki's just like one bend, whereas Maya's is like a wave, and I think that looks
It's two.
Really,
It's two hair pieces.
Okay, it still looks cool and interesting, and it flows nice. And I also
you gotta have that because it's in Vandred.
I love the shading that you've done on the hair as well. I feel like we've been seeing a lot more of that in models these days, where there's like subtle shading on the lower parts, like on her bangs right in the middle. There's like a little bit there.
Mm-hmm.
The eyepiece looks so much better now.
It's not a badly cut out Photoshop from an image from a JPEG.
Yeah, it's so much better now. I do have
You
one
can tell what
question.
shape it's supposed to be because her bangs aren't hiding it.
Yeah, I've got a question though about her bodysuit. The legs, they have the dark gray part go down. I assume that's Photoshop.
What do you mean? The part that's attached to her legs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
So, for reference, again, Kisake doesn't let you attach stuff like that, like belts and ribbons to legs, which is shitty, and no one likes that
Fuck you, Pochi. Give us more shit.
because it makes stuff hard to pose if they have any details on their legs. And the dark part of Maya's bodysuit, which kind of like highlights like her camel toe and everything, like her crotch and her thighs and stuff, and her belly button. It's just it's awesome. Anyway, so yeah, that goes down like on her thighs, so it's part of her legs. So in order to pose, like I'd have to move all the belts and things. So what I did was just I kept the legs perfectly like in a neutral position, and I built the belts accordingly. And then I took it into Photoshop and just cut that part out, like the parts on the thighs, and I made them into image attachments.
Nice.
And
Kisake is definitely like one of those programs that's just finicky as all hell to use, but once you get the
Yeah.
hang of it, you can
gotta
like
figure it
really
out.
do shit.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, image, because it's pixels instead of vectors, image attachments generally lose some resolution, but it's just a solid color, so it's really not that bad.
I think some is an understatement.
Yeah, with her thighs anyway. You know, it's not anything too detailed. So, so there's that, and I basically just tried to cut it out of the image right along where her legs bend. So, you know, her joints, so they would pose properly. And luckily, it didn't take too much finicking around to make sure that it lined up properly and it didn't look too bad. And I think it meshes pretty well, and it made it a lot easier to pose. Especially because all those belts would have otherwise been like symmetrical. And I can just manipulate them a lot better. I actually have two different image attachments. There's one where it's like if her legs slightly a little more curved, and then one if her legs are like going out straight because her thighs slightly change in width.
Oh my god, wait. You didn't do it in Photoshop?
I just cut them out in Photoshop, and I made them image attachments.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess that is quicker in the long run.
I
think little.
Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
I think little image attachments like that can be super useful, but but a lot of the time I've seen models just floating around where 90% of the model is image attachments.
I feel attacked.
And not good image attachments, and it can really show. But but little image attachments like that tend to work out really well and help posing. But I was working on a small project that I ended up dropping, and using those little image attachments helped a lot.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think that the issue is more when the attachments are very obviously not made in Kisuke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It doesn't mesh well.
There's some people who can make the drawn assets blend really well, like Horse Cat, yeah, Horse Cat and Metal Atar.
You ever notice we have Horse Cat and Horse Killer?
Yep.
Oh no, I've never noticed that.
But like,
What's up with that guy's name? Like, why is he killing horses?
it's Fire Emblem. Infantry is a sim.
Needs that glue.
Another Fire Emblem character.
All right.
Oh, we'll get to there. We'll get to
Yeah,
that.
we'll get to that.
Fire Emblem characters.
For now, let's go on to the other space pirate made by SPNatI, Jura.
Wait, I would like to say before we move on that what is it? I mean, I abuse image attachments quite a fair bit. Like a lot of the stuff that's on my models is image attachments, and if you try to load them up from the game files, you'll see that. Like Maya's pauldrons are image attachments, like her laser ring, her thighs, Ryuko's like Senketsu, and like transformed and not transformed. So like a big part of her outfit is image attachments. Her sword is image attachments. Revi's guns. Like I don't think it's a total deal breaker. You can use them just fine. It's a great tool. You just gotta make sure they're built from stuff that's originally Kisuke, so it meshes well. And so do that and make sure that the original photo is really high res. And it'll look okay.
Yeah.
I've seen on occasion people posting models just in general, and they're saving it on like 1 out of 5.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
You always
try to
want
zoom
be on
in.
5 out of 5 resolution for Kisuke.
Yeah.
5 out of 5 resolution, zoom level 7. That's what you do.
Why would you ever pick anything else?
That's the thing. You don't.
Exactly.
Because it defaults to 2 out of 5.
So yeah, don't be afraid of image attachments. Just make them in Kisuke first. Don't be afraid of Kisuke.
Yeah. There was recently a Kisei Cathlon, which is an event we host on the server every so often, or people on the server host. And another creator named Rabid Bagel, he did a it was a weapon Kisekathlon, so you had to make a weapon in Kisuke. And he made a Kingdom Hearts weapon, and it turned out so beautifully. But the thing is, he made them in Kisuke,
Joe,
and
that
then
was
imported them in,
Yeah, I'll post the
then
picture.
into
Just
another.
let me search through it real quick. While I search through it,
Oh, by the way, Johan is Joe now.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
In case you're
Joe
wondering what
Johan.
the fuck.
that he made that in Kisuke.
Yeah,
It's a
so that was
fucking
made in
pretty-
Kisuke.
That
He-
looks
he,
straight up
he-
like official art.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was
No.
the one who mentored me on Kisuke, and
looks like you
made
digitally
me a
painted some
picky
shit.
man.
He has learned the secret to zoom level 600.
He made it to 30, a virgin, so now he's a wizard. But he chose his wizard powers in Kisuke.
Is Bagel actually 30?
No, he's not actually 30.
It's 40.
That
He's
is a very
53.
alrighty.
So yeah, I mean, don't be afraid of Kisuke. Like,
Yeah.
I put out these models that most people like in Kisuke, and I fucking hate it. So,
Image
yeah,
attachments in
it's-
Kisuke can work really well
It's
if you do it like
shitty
that.
and boring and awful right up until when you finally break through and it starts to look like what you want it to look like, and then it's a feeling I can't describe.
Yeah, that
Hyper
is-
nut.
It's better than sex.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
So
It's
speaking
better than masturbating to your waifu.
of
Impossible.
your waifu, SPNatI.
What?
Another one.
Yeah, let's talk about the new Jura model.
Oh yes.
Opal, why don't you start us off with your thoughts on it?
Very nice hair. And I think one of the things she kind of says, like almost self-effacing, says to Nehru is about her own hair. And I don't know if that line's going to work as it is right now anymore. But I
What did
like
she-
the.
What did she say?
I think she just complimented Nehru on having very long hair. And it was blue, of course, because Nehru just has blue hair.
Well, I made Jura's hair shorter, so
Oh, okay. Well, it looks better anyway. And I think something was changed about the dress. It looks good, whether or not something was changed.
I didn't change her dress much.
Excuse me.
Okay, bless you.
Thank you.
People seem pretty happy with the dress. I just gave it more shading, and I made the back of it darker.
That's what.
Changed the shading on that.
Looks good though.
Thank you. So yeah,
Alright.
the hair was the main thing. I made it like shorter, and you can see kind of curlier. It used to be like default hair that kind of came down to these pointed ends, and Jura's hair really just doesn't have that at all. I can post like a reference picture, but it basically comes down in these like curvy sort of golden locks where they don't have like a distinct end point. They just kind of curve back up into her head. And like if you watch the show, Jura always talks about like her hair and how proud of it she is. Like she constantly takes care of it, and she doesn't want to pilot.
Imagine watching Vandred.
She doesn't want to pilot her dread if her hair isn't in perfect condition.
How old is Vandred now?
What?
How old is Vandred now?
It came out in 2000.
Jesus, came out when I was born.
There's an goddamn zoomer.
I'm not a zoomer. Leave me be.
There's an extra like it's called an extra stage. It's like a light novel that has like some side stories from the creator of Vandred, and in one of them, like Jura is involved in like a crash where she breaks both of her arms.
Oof.
And the first thing that she complains about is that she can't brush her hair.
I think Vandred is one of those shows that a lot of people haven't watched just because it's older and I think it's been lost to the times. And being 2019, people born in 2000, they're being able to play SPNatI now. So they don't know the source material too well.
There you go. I just posted a low res reference because that's all I could find. You can kind of see how I tried to match the shading on her dress from this reference, and then the way
it's low res because it's a low res show.
He's out here trying to start a war.
And he
You can kinda
wonders
see
why I try to kill him.
she's flipping her hair back in the same way that she is in her new portrait too.
Mhm.
So yeah, I actually looked at better references this time when making their models. That, and I actually knew how to build shit in Kisake and didn't just use default hair. And I also shrank their heads down so they don't have Megamind syndrome anymore.
That's a huge problem with Kisuke. If you don't fix the default head, you end up with literal Megamind.
Yeah. I talked
If you
about this on the last podcast, but I think there's a general shift in art style. Like, I was kind of copying what I saw in the game when I first made their models, and now you see a shift where you have sort of thinner builds, longer legs, smaller heads, just different proportions in general. And yeah, and I did give them longer legs. I shortened their torsos, so they should be about the same height overall, both Maya and Jura. But there's that. And I also made them their hips a bit smaller. They still have pretty good hips, but it's just to make them more slender, because that's
a little
kind of how they're
more
built.
human.
Just they're not thick. That was not in 2000.
A lot of Kisuke models are automatically, I have the childbearing hips of a god,
Yeah, and
which can show in a lot of models.
yeah, they're just a lot thinner in the show. And they kind of have like supermodel builds instead.
Oh, yeah.
I think that my thoughts on the new Jura model is definitely like it a lot, and it's definitely an improvement over the last one. Doesn't quite blow me away like Maya's new model does. But it's still pretty good, yeah.
The outlines on her hair were pretty wonky to start with, and I actually went back in Photoshop and made the outlines a lot stronger on like every single image. That was a fun 2 days. If you go into their files, they have actually a few new poses, which you might recognize. Some of them are pretty rare, so it'd be easier to just find them in the files. There's one in particular I gave Maya. She's
Are
interacting
you
with
telling
Sarah.
the players to cheese
Yes.
instead of grinding?
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe this.
Well,
Banhammer.
go
You
see
can't
for
ban
yourself.
him.
I'm interested in what you could be referring to about that, but for now, I guess we. Anybody else have anything to say about Jura, or should we move on to Milan?
Beautiful, beautiful model. Again with the shift of the art styles in SPNatI. It's it's definitely updated with the times. There are still some characters in
Jura or
SPNatI.
Milan?
Jura.
Gotcha.
Beautiful model. Updated great. Thank you, Spinanon. Bless.
Okay, but okay. I could just tell you what the the pose I'm referring to is, since I got pissed at you for hiding stuff last time.
No, it's fine. Allow it.
Basically, if you get like the double masturbation thing that they have, if you end at the end of the game, Jura will like smack Maya's ass.
Good shit.
Almost in like kind of like a platonic football team kind of way.
Like, good job.
Like coming out of the locker room since they're squad mates.
When we get the third Vandred character in here, we'll have them pouring Gatorade on them.
Back in high school, the locker room smack ass thing was very prominent. So
I don't know why they do that.
Having
I've not played
flashbacks.
sports ever.
Same.
And
I did weightlifting
why?
I did weightlifting in high school. So there was this guy who would just come up to the guys and smack their ass, and I would just kind of yelp, and it was scary.
You know, that was started by like a gay guy, and he's just like, what? You know, it's just palling around.
Well,
speaking of just guys palling around, Milan. That's a good segue.
Oh, that was an excellent segue.
Beautiful segue.
So Mulan's back on testing. Didn't go for the quick pass with a new model by Beta 69.
Nice.
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 It's a pretty good looking model. Opal, why don't you start us out with your thoughts?
One of the ones I actually played with today, my first game in a month. I definitely think it's like a lot more accurate to the source for both, I guess you could say, both outfits. Like, I think
Thing
it's,
and Mulan.
yeah, I think they both look good. Although obviously I can't say I'm attracted at all to the first one because reasons. But
She was another case of Megamind syndrome. But that was more like just her face was too small.
oh yeah,
Yeah, just tiny.
I very much like the new model though.
She's like that guy from prison school.
With a
really
really
tiny
small face. That's all I know
Yo,
about
post
that
that.
anime. All right, one moment.
And the really big earlobes.
He is the best. He was the best male character, hands down.
Can we get him in SPNatI?
He's all I know about that anime.
I know about that guy that likes ass.
Isn't that every character in that show?
Anyway, Opal, you were thoughts on Mulan?
I think that's most of them. I definitely like the model changes. I don't think did she have a significant like behavior update? Though to be fair, I didn't play her enough to really know her behavior that well.
Yeah, I wouldn't have noticed the difference either.
I did enjoy the one game I played with her though.
All right, Uzu, what are your thoughts on the new Mulan update?
So Mulan was one of those characters that when I first played, I was like, well then. But now that her model is updated so well, Beta did an amazing job with it. Like Beta's been working on a lot of model updates, just kind of trying to amp them up, hasn't he?
Necromancy.
Yes, rise my characters.
Why don't more people do that? That's the perfect way to get involved if you don't want to just make a character. Just make half a character.
Yeah, exactly. But he did an amazing job just updating the model. I think she's a lot more playable now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just seeing her on the selection table is like, all right, she's cute. Hell yeah.
I liked Mulan before, but like, there was that element of like, well, yeah, like her posing could be a little better, and like just something's just off about her face. It didn't bother me as much as other people, but yeah, she's definitely a lot cuter now.
Oh yeah. Actually playable.
Well, she's always been playable. Like,
oh yeah, but like actually fappable.
I thought she was cute.
Remember why we're here.
But yeah, but the new model definitely improves a lot of the weaknesses the old model had.
It doesn't make my turtle hide.
I think yeah, the new model looks better. It's cuter. I think that I enjoy the subtle shading on the sash when she loses the subtle. It's two different colors. I enjoy the blue on the sash.
You know that like just the addition of shading to models is something that I feel is really emblematic of how far we've come in general in terms of our Kisake standards. Like, you know, when I was making those Mei and Jura models, I would have never thought to put like hair shading, like either shading on their hair or just like face marks to put shading like the shadows that their bangs cast on their faces. And they have that now. That's because I saw other people doing it. And that really like gives it an element of like three-dimensionality. That okay, I didn't know he left.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi died. I kind of switched to Ethernet for a bit.
Okay. Well, that really
just gotta reset the connection real quick. Yeah.
Doing that sort of thing really gives like a three-dimensionality to a model that I had never considered before, and it really helps them pop and not just be like flat Kisuke art.
I
Has
mean,
the public seen Nia's model that Rabbit Bagel made?
Well, Discord is a public place.
Well,
So, yes.
I assume that most people see it on Reddit.
I mean, there are people that lurk on Discord and just watch us talk, which is like,
yeah.
come on, dude, get involved. Yeah, post
Yeah.
that shit.
I don't think Bagels posted anything to Reddit.
Huh. But so Nia's model is one of those prime examples of like shading can really do a lot for a model. Like, look at that. Look at that.
I mean, the only thing I did to Lara Shell and Leggy's breasts were shading, and that's like the first thing people compliment about both of them. So
Titty shading, bro. Titty shading.
Everyone's trying to make custom tits now.
Good, because Kisuke tits suck.
thank you, Bagel.
Yeah, they kind of do.
We've seen them so many times now. We really do have to spice
I
them
literally
up.
think sizes 8 and 9 look okay, and the rest are bad. I've commented before how Maya's breasts should probably be a little smaller, but I just hate the way that like the smaller sizes look. Like they don't look like just modest breasts to me. They just look all flat because they don't like.
Oh yeah, no, that
They don't have any like proper shading underneath. It's like all in the sides, and it looks weird. Looks like they have a growth on their chest.
yeah, a little bit.
That is what it
The
is.
fuck, Pochi?
No, but I had a
I'm
unique challenge with secret model number 392 I made, where her breasts were literally
Is it
set
a
to
furry?
size 3. One of them, yes. Her breasts are literally set to size 3. And if you don't know, size 2 is like actually no tits.
and then size 1 is male pecs.
Right. Which are honestly bigger breasts than size 2.
Yep.
Yeah, for some reason.
I'm convinced
Size 2
Pochi has
is like
never
a
seen a
wooden
breast.
plank.
Size 2 is what you use for a butt pose. That's what you do.
Ah,
Yep.
Literally.
shoulder blades.
They serve a function. Probably not the
A.
one they were meant to, but they serve a function.
Pochi has never seen
Flatter
small tits in his life.
than Natsuki, the flatty Natsuki.
Speaking of flat, let's segue into Misaka from something railgun.
A certain magical
To aru no
index,
railgunu.
a certain magical railgun. I don't know. It's got a million names.
So there are two separate series for that. There's a certain magical index, which is the main series featuring Index and what's the dude's name? He has spiky hair and he can like negate stuff with his hand.
Yes, spiky hair. Oh yes, I know what anime character you're talking about.
Every single one, everyone.
None of us have. I think you might be the only one that has watched that. Is among
Give
us.
us a quick rundown.
All right, so Sword of Magical Index is the main series where this guy who's like pretty much it's like a My Hero Academia thing where everyone has quirks, but the only quirk he has is he can negate stuff with his right hand. Everyone else is like godly. People can teleport and like do a bunch of crazy shit. So he meets this chick and they get into a whole bunch of shit, and then. Misaka, not Misaki, my bad. Misaka
Isn't it
is a
Misaka?
side character. You can't tell, but I'm like staring at you. Misaka, yes. Misaka was a side character that there's a lot of implied romanticism between them. Like there are short episodes where they're trying to get on this phone plan, but you need to like be come in with a couple, and so she's like, "Hey, pretend to be my boyfriend," and there's a whole bunch of like shitty rom-com stuff, and then there's a spin-off series. I fucking wish. It's just teased the entire show, both of the series, where it's just like, "Ooh, are they in love?" Because writers don't know how to write a consistent love plot line.
Is he
So
gifted a cell phone with her number.
I fucking wish.
Talks to an alternate version of her.
Actually, that does happen. Somewhere in the series. And then there's a certain scientific railgun, which is Misaka's main series, is where she kind of gets the limelight. And it's all right. It's definitely not one of the best anime ever. A lot weaker than a certain magical index. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen, go watch it on YouTube. I believe Funimation still has it up.
How long is it?
20-something episodes. It's got like 2 or 3 seasons.
All right.
Thank you for the rundown.
So, good anime. Could have been better. Great character. Love her. But how she is in SPNatI, let's discuss that.
Opal, why don't you start us off?
I guess when I looked through the actual like dev server folder, I'm not the only one, but I was kind of underwhelmed because apparently even her creator kind of backtracked, not back. He had second thoughts about having put her on testing. So what is it? So soon or so quickly or what have you? But she ends up having a lot of dialogue where she just kind of reacts to the game and doesn't add much yet, and ultimately doesn't really do anything to stand out. Like she just seemed to me like until her forfeit just seemed like, oh hey, it's an anime schoolgirl.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Uzo?
So, I had a large attachment to Misaka, just kind of growing up. During my teens, it was one of the first anime I saw. So when I heard that she was getting added to testing, I was like, yes! But then I played her, and I think she has potential. Let me get out of the way. I think she has potential. However, I think that she needs some model updates. Her hair could be worked on a bit, and like Opal said, with she's just kind of reactionary. She doesn't she a lot of her great tsundere personality that was actually well done for once. Didn't shine as much as I think it could have.
All right. SPNatI, what about you?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I didn't know shit about a certain magical index. I read her description, and it said she's an Esper. It's like it has electricity powers. So I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. I'm sure she'll do something with that, and she didn't at all. Like, if you didn't read the description, literally the only clue that you'd have that she has like any kind of superpowers is right at the end when she suddenly crackles with electricity in her finishing pose. So yeah, you definitely got to play that up, dude. Like that's what makes her unique. you gotta put that shit in there all the time. I don't know if she's like hesitant to use it or what.
No. So she'll throw shit just to take care of people. She gets mad or like angry at the main character of this series, and she'll fucking crackle all the time. She can manipulate like gravel and form it into a sword. She was whacking at the main character with it. She uses her electricity all the time.
Yeah,
and
so that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I know it's kind of a pain in the ass to add those effects, but you gotta. That's your hot ticket. That's how you're gonna sell her, and you gotta make that happen. She didn't even really like talk about like what she was doing there. Like, she didn't have a whole lot of lines in the first place. And I'm not gonna like tear into this guy because this is his first try. Nobody really gets it right on their first try.
Yeah,
it's hard to find the voice and to like give him a reason for being there, and just in general not like act all bland, because when you look at the dialogue list in the character editor, it's like this state, this person has to strip, this person is taking off this, and you feel as if you need to comment on that directly, and you really don't. So it's hard to really know. It's hard to give context for like who they are in a natural way and to explain. I go to a school like full of espers, and this is what we do all day, and here's why, and here's the moment where I'm gonna start flirting with you or whatever. But you got to get in there somehow, and it's okay. Like, this is your first time up to bat. You gotta get a feel for how to write all that stuff, and just see how other characters insert a lot of personality.
Again, she has potential. She can do it. I'm rooting for her from the bottom of my heart. She can do it.
Yeah, just a lot of her
dialogue
was just kind of generic, and she just wasn't really saying all that much, and I kind of forgot about her.
You gotta make her her. You gotta make Misaka, bro. Come on.
Yeah, don't be afraid to kind of go off the beaten path a little and branch out and not state exactly what's happening in the game, or have whenever, just think about what's the typical reaction a character would have to something like this if they had no personality whatsoever. It's well, how is my character's personality going to put a spin on that? But yeah, I had a hard time identifying what her personality was supposed to be, because she didn't talk about herself at all or who she was. And I did get a little bit of the tsundere in there, but it's just she kind of stopped herself from talking before she got too far. And in a porn game like this or something, you kind of got to let her go a little further.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what I was saying in the last episode, which Uzu didn't fucking listen to. But basically what I was talking about with, you got to actually drop some sexual terms in there.
Yeah. And she throughout the series, she was kind of just embarrassed. She can get embarrassed easily, all that kind of stuff, the typical tsundere fashion. So I understand being hesitant with it, but it's one of those things where you kind of just got to go for it. I was working on 2B for a bit, right? 2B is 2B. She's pretty stern, can be emotionless when it comes to certain things, but she can also be caring, all this stuff. And one of the most difficult things was trying to write those sexual lines, like, "Hey, look at my stuff."
You gotta with a character like 2B, you gotta go full clinical.
Yeah.
You gotta be like,
phallus, penis.
My posterior weighs exactly 50 kilograms. Consumers clients have reported this as me wanting to sit on their face or something like that.
Yeah, it's but with that, it's just again with Misaki, just gotta go for it. Don't go completely I'm Moon and I'm hypersexual. But give it some gas. Don't step on the brake.
You gotta, it's okay, dude. If you're listening, it's your first try. It's hard.
Yeah.
But once
good job. I'm fucking proud of you.
You got this. Excuse me. You got this baseline of okay, all the cases have generic dialogue now. You want to go back through. You want to look at each one of those lines. You got to think, what is this telling me about the character or how she's feeling? If this isn't telling me something about the character, or she doesn't have a unique opinion, either give it that, or make it sexual in some way. That's interesting.
Yeah.
You
got to take the reins.
Go back through and be okay. Imagine this is the one chance that you have to get a player to play her again, basically, and to pay attention to her. So this might, each and every line might be the only line in that case that they ever see. So you got to make sure it's got to be something that can only come out of her mouth, and it's going to teach you something about her.
Yep.
And making that sound natural is hard, but that's why you revise. So play up that Esper shit. I want to see some electricity powers.
Yeah.
She crackles, bro. Make her crackle.
I definitely agree. I feel a bit bad because the first game I played with her was with Tharia, and so she kind of did sink into the background up until the electricity popped out. Uzu, you just explained that she's a tsundere.
Yeah, she's pretty tsundere.
I think that having lines with having her bounce off of other characters will probably be the best way to make that show up. I can't really say anything besides echoing. Like, I'd like to see her play up the electricity and stuff.
I just want to see her succeed. I want to see Misaka succeed. All right.
I mean, I don't want to see anybody fail. She kind of came out of nowhere, but like, hey, Esper, electricity stuff, I'm game. That's cool.
And if the creator is listening, if you're listening, then like, don't be afraid to join the social Discord.
He's already on it. He's already on it.
He's already on it. When did he join?
Join it harder.
When did he join?
I don't know. A while ago, like probably when he dropped Misaka.
Huh. Well, then listen to this and go message Rabbit Bagel on the or something like that. People will help you if you're having trouble. Do the electricity in Kisuke. If you want to make it look better, if you're wondering about shading because of the electricity makes light. Like,
oh god, I don't think anyone will fault him for not making electricity shade properly.
Rabbit Bagel probably would. No, not actually, but it did. Yeah. Anyway,
Rabbit Bagel can talk shit when he makes a fucking girl.
He's working on it.
He's working on it. Have you seen Nia?
Listen, as long as his legacy is fucking Show Tucker, you can kiss my ass.
He also did Kamina.
Nah, you made Kamina.
He did the art.
You made Kamina, goddammit.
What do you mean? Joe is Kamina.
I mean, you're not wrong. Self-insert.
Next character to hit testing is Misty 2.
Yes,
Electric
Dark Gold
Boogaloo?
Soul Silver one, as in the one that's a fucking adult.
Yep. So, Opal, what are your thoughts?
So I kind of feel bad because this was the second, like I said, I played 2 games today. This was the second one. The lineup was literally one empty slot because it was just there to speed things up. The new Mulan, Laura Shell because I had to pick a character, and Misty. And I kid you not, Misty lost like 5 times in a row as soon as the game started. So I feel like I didn't get a good like spattering of her either posing or dialogue. But what I did see of the art, I really liked. I did like the characters definitely better than the old Misty, but that's a very low bar to clear, so that hardly feels like a compliment. But
Misty may, in fact, be the objectively worst character on the roster.
I definitely like the model, at least so far. I should probably give her another play, though.
Does the old Misty stand to masturbate? I have to check this now.
Wouldn't
Probably.
surprise me.
Oh my god, she does. Why would anyone ever play her? God, look at this. You can't even tell the fucking difference when she's masturbating. She has like 5 poses for it. Oh wait, no, she has more. But even still, her legs literally never move at all. Oh wait, no, they do in like 2 poses, and then it's back to perfectly straight side feet the entire time.
Really breaking new ground.
You want to talk about relics? Look at Misty. You have that shit next to some mouse and rabbit bagel art in the game. Whew, night and day.
Yeah, well, the art definitely for me shines when she's stripping the actual bikini itself, though. Done really well.
Just to clarify, I'm shitting on the old Misty. New Misty has good art.
New Misty is the objectively best Pokemon girl we've gotten.
Yeah, I can.
Again, that's a low bar to clear.
I know.
True, yeah.
Give Moon some credit.
No.
No.
What credit are we giving Moon? Why?
She wins the You Caught 'Em All award.
No.
So, Opal, more about New Misty. Anything else?
I would say more if she had done better in that particular. I don't even think she has like bad AI or anything. She just got really unlucky. I
How many
didn't
games
see
in it?
hardly anything. I only played the one game with her so far. I don't play this game a lot. Okay.
SPNatI devs playing SPNatI? Don't
For
make me laugh.
For 4 layers, she lasted all right in my game. I think she was like the second one out, but she hung around for a while. It was fine.
Okay, so I just got unlucky then, or she did, one of the two.
Or he made her intelligence better.
All right, Uzu, what are your thoughts on New Misty?
So I was able to play 2 games with her, and I like her. I don't have any particular attachment to her. She looks good. The lines are all right. But the problem is I lost to her 2 games in a row.
Is this another Daisy and Zuja situation?
It might be. We might be witnessing the birth of a rivalry.
You're getting dunked on by Misty? That's worse because Misty only
I've
has
been
4
getting
layers.
I'm getting dunked on by Misty, and I didn't even get to see her masturbation sequence. Like, but from what I was able to tell from the games, I lost. But she's good. She's good.
All right, Spinana, what are your thoughts?
I mean, the art's like excellent. I just want to. She's got like this nice, slender, toned swimmer's body, which is just that's
Yes,
what you
I
need.
agree.
It's everything I wanted from Misty, which was first she's from the game, she's from the games and not the anime, and second she's an adult. There's literally
Unlike
people
the
complaining
Cough.
about like make her the Indigo League Misty, and it's like stop wanting to fuck kids. We had this conversation.
And
Like,
we'll have it again.
I know you watched the anime when you were 12, but like Game Misty is just objectively better. She does things. She's actually competent. She will shit all over your Charmeleon's face and make you say thank you. So,
God damn.
like this is objectively like the correct Misty, and it's the one I've been bitching about this entire time. So I'm glad she's here. And
Well,
hey,
thank you
I
for your
mean,
bitching.
it didn't even replace the old Misty. So if you're bad and you just want to wallow in mediocrity, then you can still play with her. And she's
Well, damn.
and those play count statistics, she's still pretty high up there because people need to be killed. But yeah, that art's really nice. She does the thing where she like peels off the swimsuit halfway at a time, which coming off of Maya, who strips her whole bodysuit at once, that's a coward move.
Well, do you wear anything when you go swimming underneath your swimsuit?
I'm saying you should take it off in one go.
Maya has underwear on underneath.
Doesn't the game not allow that?
Probably.
Coward move. She should have had just like a modesty patch.
The rules are cowards.
Nipple tape. I will say I'm gonna go full toot my own horn here even more, and be like, I do think I posted this on our channel on the dev server, but the way her hair is kind of always facing to one side doesn't look quite right to me. I feel like it should flip horizontally when she turns her head. And I'm say toot my own horn because that's what I did with Maya's hair, because that's what it is. That's what happens. It's like Goku's hair. It's supposed to do that because it's basically shorthand for it's supposed to be sticking out in front. So it turns with her head. So I feel like it should be doing that because sometimes it looks like she's facing one way and her hair's facing the other way, and it's kind of weird. But other than that, I really like her art. Some of the mounts that she uses are a little weird. I always just want to say, if there's any doubt whatsoever that a Kisake mount is good, then don't use it because they're all shit. All of them. 95% are completely unusable. And again, you should be killed if you use them.
I would have disagreed, but then I realized that for every fully human model I've made, I've done entirely custom mouths.
A lot of those are like furry centered mouths. Like that's why they exist.
The irony being they're only good for like a specific sort of like dog-faced thing.
So if you make crystal, I guess 95% Kisake mouths are not
Even
useful.
then, it wouldn't work. I've tried making a crystal, and none of them work.
Or not useful. But
They're not even useful for their main purpose.
you made crystal.
I tried. I didn't succeed.
All right then. And furries from 2003 would absolutely love you.
I made Lola too, but nobody cared about that.
I'm gonna say that Misty kind of suffers from the same problem that Misaka has. Not to the same extent. She is a little better about it, but some of her dialogue can just be a little generic at times. I do like the whole angle she has about looking for a date because that was an actual thing in the
Gold, Soul,
Johto
Silver?
games. What?
Yeah, gold, silver.
Yeah. Well, in Gen 2 as well.
Yeah.
So that's an actual thing. She has like a date on Cerulean Cape, and you come up, and for some reason the guy she's dating is scared off by the sight of a 10-year-old, and just
I mean,
fucking
hey,
books
you
it.
are the champion now.
He just fucking books it like you're gonna kill him. Throw him in the water.
You are the champion at that point. He's right.
Well, look.
And you go around fucking mugging people? Like, what is he so scared?
Yes.
Yeah, no, you go around beating up people's Pokemon and
He's
taking
like,
their
yo,
fucking money.
are you gonna be? He's Gold rolls up on his bike. Yo, hands off my waifu, and he just fucking, I don't know. His Dragonite
fucking books it,
unleashes like fucking Star Platinum, Fist of the North Star shit.
I mean, truth be told,
Platinum.
if he made eye contact with you and then ran, does that make him like a criminal in the Pokemon universe?
Criminal
I just don't know why Misty's dating a guy that's so skittish. How did he even get out that far with her if the sight of 10-year-old boys scares him away? My point is, so that's a good angle to take, and especially in a game like this. I do think she starts out like flirting a little too hard, like it just kind of comes out of nowhere. Like I think it's a good idea to recognize the player as like, ooh, I'm gonna try to get a date with this person. But the fact that she just immediately does it out of nowhere just makes it seem really artificial.
Excuse me.
Bless you. There should be a couple rounds of like, oh, well, what about player? Could I see myself with them? Yeah, and then like, I know people don't want to come off as too horny or whatever, or alternatively, they do want to do that. But the only, like, the balance you need for that is just, like, you can just build up character in the beginning, give some context in the beginning. Nobody's masturbating in the beginning because nobody's naked. They're just taking off small shit and it's boring. When they get to the later stages, naked, forfeit, whatever, then you can turn up the flirting, like, and you're not going to be any worse for waiting to do that. So like, put it all there. Don't put it in the beginning where it's weird because everybody still has their clothes on. Put it at the end. Other than that, I mean, I did like the references she had to like, oh, my body's real toned because I swim. And just, I'm so busy being a gym leader. So I just like to see some more of that other than that. But definitely a good start. League's better than the Misty we had before. And follows the rules, most importantly. Like, I mean, really. Old Misty was aged up? Bullshit. Why is she wearing the same clothes she had when she was 10?
I mean, my fashion sense hasn't changed much since I was 10.
Yeah, no, I guarantee I still have clothes from when I was 10.
Well, that's because you never quite hit your growth spurt, did you?
Okay, fair.
I would actually wear shirts like 6 sizes too big when I was a kid. Okay, so.
Yeah, no, same.
Joe, if you're wearing clothes that you had, if your fashion sense is the same as when you were 10,
The clothes
you're not an adult and you need to reevaluate your life.
They've merely been upsized.
Are you still wearing like the sandals and shirts with like the flames on it?
What? No, I never wore those when I was 10. I just wore like shirts with like a video game character on them. And I still do that.
Shirts with like how to spot a gamer.
No! Okay, I never
Don't push
those.
my buttons.
Anyway,
Will trade sister for pizza.
Anyway, moving
I didn't do my homework yesterday because I was playing games.
God.
You know,
I'm such a gamer. I'm gonna fail high. I'm gonna fail elementary
sarcastic
school.
comment loading.
I never wore it. The closest I wore was a shirt that said hello. It was like a name tag on it. It said, hello, my name is Anik. I'm not telling you to kill my father, prepare to die. That's the closest it got.
Radical.
I still have a shirt.
Hi, my gamer tag is.
I still
Anyway.
have a sarcastic comment loading shirt.
XX Uzu Moe XX.
Dude, I'm gonna change my name to that
XX
now.
the bitch.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say about Misty. I share similar thoughts to you guys. I think she's good. I think she's the best Pokemon character we've got. I know that's down by faint praise, but whatever. I feel like it was weird that she didn't have more to say to Classic Misty.
I mean, why would you bother?
I
One
mean,
line.
Damn.
I know. It's like the line will never be reciprocated, and it's not like you're
she's-
targeting a very good character anyway, but still. It feels weird.
She's not worth it, the effort. It's like targeting Samus. It's like, who the fuck cares? Anyone who's picking Samus is not there for the banter.
And at a certain point, you're kind of just like artificially inflating your line count,
Huh.
which I don't think anyone
Interesting.
really cares about anymore. But still,
It's like shouting down a well.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Next character is super late to all the snake fucking. Oh no, that's why we were talking about snake fucking.
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, Alice from Monster Girl Quest.
The third Alice we had.
Opal, why don't you start us off?
I think I forget exactly.
Not snake-like enough for you? Too human?
Okay, for starters, no. I'm not even that. Snakes aren't even my thing.
Yeah, squirrels are.
Yes, but I should post that. Oh no, I'll do that with the Q&A if we get to that ever. But
3 years later.
yeah, I liked her.
I knew
before
this was
she
going to be a
got-
long one because of all the new characters.
I liked her before she went off testing. I like her now. I did recognize the art. I did like the art changes. Still like that she's like I don't know about one of the first ones, but definitely one of those that like has really neat, interesting things done that essentially replace her legs. Like in terms of the Kiske model. Yeah, I like her dialogue, like her art.
Alright. Uzu, what about you?
Despite my love for Monster Girls, I think she's good. I just think she's good. Lamias are definitely one of the best Monster Girl categories, period. Don't care what you say. And she does it well. She's just good.
Lamias exist to confuse you and then get killed in Final Fantasy.
I've never played a Final Fantasy game, so
You just hit attack and then you slash them and they die.
that's damn.
But sometimes they turn you into, or they either confuse you. I think maybe they turn you into a chicken. Maybe that's another enemy.
Shit, all right. But I guess I don't have too much to say about her. She's good. She's good. Anyway, Snack Alice, good Alice. I still can't wait for Grape Alice to come back.
SPNatI, what about you? What are your thoughts on this Lamia?
Well, she was around like a year ago. This is not her first attempt. at testing.
Yeah.
I like her art overall, other than sometimes her arm goes behind her tattoo. I don't know if you noticed that.
That does happen every so often, doesn't it?
You know, the whole snake effect when she transforms and the lower half of her body becomes a snake. It's pretty impressive, but it kind of limits her posing. I like how she uses her tail and it's not completely static, but I just like to see her kind of like move around a little bit more in it and kind of like raise herself up and stuff like that. It just feels, I don't know, very static. And the fact that she just has like a weird vagina coming out of like nothing because there's no legs to like separate it from her body is just weird. That's why I got
think
into
that's
the whole
a-
anatomy question.
No, I think that's just a general thing with Lamia is that they just kind of there.
You
I mean-
encounter a monster girl and you question anatomy.
I don't think we ever answered how snake vaginas worked, did we? We looked at snake penises,
Oh,
but
God,
snake
no.
vaginas did not come into the conversation.
I think they're just there. There's nothing.
I
special.
I think do
least
snakes
that
have
part's human.
cloacas?
We're not
Probably.
doing this again.
At least that part was human.
Do snakes have cloacas? Is
We're
that
not
the que-
doing this again.
I
we
guess you
must
could,
know.
I guess you could say she has the biggest ass in the game.
True.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
Yeah. So
Who's next?
I really like the idea that she's going with, where she's like a monster lord, and she almost like Mei and Jura, just by the nature of her society and her interactions with men, she takes a natural interest in them. So I think that's very strong. She kind of she wants to collect your seed or whatever, because apparently monster girls need that to survive.
Hell yeah, bro.
If that's not a
Are you
porn
telling
game
me that's a
setup, I don't know
turnoff?
what is.
Are you telling me that's a turnoff?
It's a little contrived. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
You are
It
a
literally
weakling and
needs
will not
semen to
survive
live.
the winter.
like, come on, man.
You are a weakling and will not survive the winter.
I mean, it's kind of hot. Except I get like a Black Widow sort of vibe where they're just gonna eat me after it's done.
Yeah,
Shit.
I agree.
Like a
When are we
praying
getting
mantis.
the Lamia from what's it called?
Monster Musume?
Yes, her. When are we
I don't
getting
know.
her?
I don't know. I
Yep.
don't think anybody has plans.
So
I
yeah,
thought
I
somebody
think
was working on a model.
I think she needs to play up that angle a little harder and not just do it. Like the only time she really seems to bring it up is like at the beginning, and like if a male character finishes the forfeit. And that's like the only two times that she really brings it up. And she, again, like you need to play up your angle, you know? She needs to like be comparing herself to like other female characters more and talking about like all the monster lord society and why she's a monster lord and why she needs men and why she's looking for them and why she can't find them, why she came here. And just stuff like that, you know? Like you gotta really play that up and just like keep hammering that in, and on a lot of your lines. Like don't be afraid to like not comment on the game exactly. Like don't be generic. The worst thing you can be is boring and just think, well, okay. Like by the time she started like doing the forfeit, like she wasn't saying anything interesting. And that was really surprising from like a character like her. You'd think she'd be like totally okay with sort of the more sexual imagery and stuff. And I just want to see more of that. I mean, she's from a porn game, so go nuts.
I think it's one of those games that I just haven't played that I really do want to play.
I haven't ever played it, but I know it's got some dope ass music for the final boss.
Yeah.
My thoughts on Alice are more or less. I think she's good. I think I agree with SPNatI in that like she needs to play up the like just in general. Never be afraid to go in on a thing if you can. I guess Hex has played the game. He provided some extensive feedback. Apparently, she's like more like noble woman-esque in her thing. A very like smug and above it all. And Ferlin seemed to have appreciated that feedback. So I guess that we'll be seeing that get implemented eventually when she gets next
Soon,
updated.
TM.
I really do like the tattoo work, and I do not envy him for having to do that. 'Cause tattoo, like I can see it's made of hair pieces, and hair pieces on the body are hell. Even if you make them into image attachments,
Mm-hmm.
because then they
Pochi, give us body marks.
yeah.
You fuck.
Pochi,
Viz,
let us
give us
move our
body
goddamn
marks.
shoulders.
Pochi, just get good.
Alrighty.
All of my models.
3 more.
Stop making dresses anti-gravity.
We'll stop making bad mouths.
Stop
pretending we wanted pockets.
We are almost done. Almost
done
to the
with
questions
the
and
first, like,
answers.
We're almost done with the first half of the podcast. We've only got 3 left, and that's because we ignored Nami this week.
Yeah, because she's just kind of new. We were all we'll get to her next episode.
She's from One Piece. People will still be playing her in 2 weeks.
Yeah. May from Night in the Woods has finally been sponsored and added into the main game.
May from Pokemon, right after
May.
Misty.
Yep. All right, Opal. what about
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats on that. She already, like, she was one of the earlier testing characters to target Leggy a whole bunch. So of course I targeted her a whole bunch right back, and I think I'm the one currently who owes her some lines. So it's really fun interactions between those two. Definitely plugging myself, but that's fine. But yeah, I like her. I'm glad she made it in.
All right, Uzu. What about you?
Congrats, Ben. I'm glad to see that she's working in the game and people like her. I definitely like her. I haven't played Night in the Woods, but that's more of because I don't really like the style of the game. But you managed to turn her into something that I.
But everyone's an animal.
Nice.
You fucking furry.
Fuck you, bastard man.
How could you not like it? Because they're not sexy enough? Huh? You gotta give May bigger tits? Hourglass figure?
I should buy Uzu Dust and Elysian Tail for his birthday.
SPNatI, I'm going to kill you, Joe. I might kill you too. Give me a second to decide. Opal is definitely on my kill list too. He knows why.
Just get it over with.
Actually, Opal's plotted my murder many times.
Joe actually demanded it in one case, and you're still alive, so clearly I failed.
I am a resilient man.
So, Uzu, got anything else to say about May?
I like her. I definitely like her. Cute, small. Has good lines. Thank you for targeting Leggy. Yeah.
All right, SPNatI.
Yeah, I don't think my opinion on May has really changed. You know, she's definitely a quality character, you know, and she gives some body type diversity. You know, you can tell she's not really for me in that department because all my characters are like, well, except for Ryuko, they're all like tall and slender and have pretty big hips and tits.
Ryuko is pretty slender.
But she's not tall.
No.
She's also the one I pay attention to the least.
Fun fact: Ryuko was actually my first waifu. Like I had characters I liked when I was younger, but Ryuko was the first waifu.
Imagine being such a fucking zoomer that your first waifu was from 2013.
I share
some good diversity on the physical end, and you know her general like kind of cynical and depressive sort of attitude, but is well captured. But it doesn't like bring down the game. Like she's not like miserable the way like I don't know. I guess I kind of criticized Daria for and sort of like leaning too hard into that. Like she doesn't ruin it for other people, which I think is really nice. And normally I don't really like it when you see a lot of characters' inner thoughts, but it kind of helps bring about her like her insecurity a little better and make that obvious when she's not saying anything to the other characters. So I'm all right with it. So yeah, she's definitely like a clever, well-written character. I mean, I agree with some of the criticisms that people had in a sponsorship post where you don't really get a whole lot of information about how she sees everyone as an animal, which is kind of the whole thing in her game.
Thursday's kind of pointed it out. That's
I know. I read her explanation. I'm just saying. Well, you can explain it for people who didn't hear it.
Okay, well, first I'll agree with you that my thoughts have not changed much since we talked about her the first time. She brings in that sweet existential apathy that my generation has. And basically, Thursday's explanation.
Existential apathy from the guy who wrote Kamina.
Yeah, like shit sucks. I'm aware of it. It will suck. I will try to make it suck less, but it's gonna suck. Anyway, Thursday's explanation is basically that the only reason that May sees people as animals is because she has some very strong mental disorder. And basically she knows that people aren't animals, but she sees them as such. And so if she brought it up, that would be talking about her about something that's super uncomfortable and caused a lot of bad shit in her life.
Yeah. I understand there's a legitimate character reason for it, but God, like, that would be so much replay value to just put her with everyone and see which animals she sees them all as.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I want
That'd be a lot of work, though.
Apparently, Revy is like a wild cat or a dog or something. Like, I'm not sure. I feel like Maya would just be another cat.
90% of the characters are cats.
I don't know. Well, they all have a pussy. So
That was fucking terrible.
So yeah, I just want that full list Thursdays. Even if it's not in the game itself, I want a full list of every animal that May sees people as. Make it happen.
Alrighty. Next character is Croy, returning to testing from Little Witch Academia. 2010 Mantis was on last time. He just pushed
You mean
her
the
out.
Masp?
Yep. 2010 in the Masp.
2010 Mantis magic.
So, Opal, thoughts on Croy?
I very much liked what I saw for her art and posing. Like, I think it all looked great, everything I saw. And I like the bit of dialogue I saw, but to be perfectly honest, that was game 3, and as I said, I only completed 2 games, so I'm a hack, I know.
How dare you?
How are you going to make it up to us?
Preferably disappear sooner rather than later, but I mean,
Can you stop making furries and maybe update Nehru?
No, Opal, don't listen.
Nehru
I mean,
really
that's
likes
an
woodland
option,
creatures, right?
but also I'm supposed to make a human leggy, but that's for upcoming projects, which at this rate will happen eventually.
Soon TM.
I know how to reconcile this, Opal.
Kill me?
Nehru likes woodland critters, right?
Yes, actually.
Make an epilogue, and when she plays her song, all the woodland critters are furries. They all come right up to her.
That's actually an amazing
You are a
idea.
bastard man. You are a bastard man.
It will kill Uzu. I must do it.
Make
Look,
that shit
all right.
happen, man.
I am constantly trying to be murdered. Like, I am
Make
under
us both
constant
happy.
threat. From Bagel, Opal, Joe.
We're cooking with gas now.
And Smith, although he hasn't posted much lately, even in the other server.
So, Opal, what are your thoughts on Croy?
I pretty much gave him. That's how the whole thing.
Oh, right. Sorry. Uzu, what are your thoughts on Croy?
Didn't stand out too much to me. I guess it's because I don't know her too well. The game I played with her was short, so from what I saw, she was all right. I liked her posing. I liked her art. Her dialogue was all right. All around, pretty decent character. I think there's, of course, room for more improvement. I think there's room for improvement in every character, but more so, a little more so here.
All right. SPNatI, what about you?
Well, I liked her the first time she was on testing, especially with that lonely phone box art and model. That's some good shit right there. Nice
Oh yeah,
posing.
phone box.
Yeah, pretty sexy stuff. Shout out to him because he made Cupid Maya, and now he's got to make her again because they changed the model. Sorry,
Damn, it's been
but that's what you do for your waifu. When you sign up for helping me out with Maya, you realize that I'm never going to stop updating her. But anyway, I mean, I liked her in her first time around, and Mantis took her down because like he thought that she just wasn't consistent enough in terms of like personality or explaining what she was doing, which I kind of agreed with. And basically, playing her again, I do think that she has a bit more of a consistent character arc. So I'm happy to see that. All that's really changed is that she kind of got a smoothing over with her dialogue progression, and that's all she really needed. Of course, now she's back with Akko in the game, so she's got more targeting to do.
Mm-hmm.
It really would have been funny to have Lot and Craw in the main game,
Before
but not Akko. Oh wow, Uzu, you didn't think it would last this long? It's been like an hour and a half, dude.
Bro, it's been like almost 2 hours.
No.
Dude, like one of these episodes has gone on for 4 hours.
Oh no.
It's been about an hour 20 minutes. We can try and speed it up.
What? Really?
Yep.
It feels like it's been longer. Anyway, no, it's fine.
Well, those are my thoughts on Craw. Is that she pretty much got exactly what she needed.
I'll agree with that. One moment. Moving my mic.
We got to figure out how to say her name. Hasn't anybody seen Little Witch Academia?
Isn't it Croy?
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm pretty sure you would say like Craw in French, because it's like La Croix.
La Croix. But in America, where I currently reside, we say like Croy.
If we're doing America, we do Croix. Croixy. That Croc's got
Okay,
teeth.
maybe not America, but America.
If we're doing the Notre Dame thing.
Hunchback in Notre Dame. Notre Dame.
So, I think she's good.
Hey, did you hear that Notre Dame caught fire?
Oh yeah, that was real sad.
This is why
Notre Dame.
This is why we've been recording for an hour and 20 minutes. We haven't even gotten to questions and answers yet.
Hey, it's good that we have banter.
Uzu banter too strong.
Too strong. All right.
Croy is good. I like her model. I'm glad that Mantis and push her back onto testing. Due to some serious personal issues, it's likely that she won't be receiving updates for some time. Yeah. I'm glad to see her back.
Just goes to show with magic, anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
I like how she immediately explained what her technology was. I don't think I even knew last time that it was called like Magitronics.
Dude, I didn't even remember that, and I've watched the show.
Well, you didn't watch it very closely, did you?
No, I guess not. I thought I did. I guess not.
You know what I know about Little Witch Academia?
What?
I know that one GIF where Akko's got an ahigao, and it looks like she's taking it up the ass.
Hell yeah, bro!
Alrighty.
Joe, put that in the in the podcast.
Oh, you wanted me to insert a GIF? Alright, I can try and figure out how to make that happen.
I can't.
And next is
coming up at the last of it. The Fire Emblem character that I'm surprised hasn't been here since the beginning. Tharia from Fire Emblem Awakening.
It's about goddamn time we got a Fire Emblem character.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hell yeah,
Opal?
first Fire Emblem character.
Opal, what are your thoughts on her?
Definitely liked her overall. Her model's good, art's good, posing's what I can remember. Her posing's good. I think particularly stripping, I don't know what you call it, her version of a bodysuit, I guess, It's kind of weird to me because I think she just kind of like reads out of a book and it disappears. But part of me actually liked the whole mechanic where she was talking the whole game about something that she's convinced you said. I just kind of liked her interactions, her like arc, I guess you could say. Although to me, I think she actually beat me after losing all of her layers. So that was kind of a weird.
Oh, I hate that. Oh, it's terrible.
And she
Hurts
was the
my
last
heart.
one alive too, so it was literally down to a last game situation, a last hand situation. It was funny though when she was talking about apparently hexing me all game, and I went like the first 3/4 of the game without losing, and then all of a sudden just got destroyed. Yeah, though I like her. I wish I had more meaningful feedback, but
All right, SPNatI, what about you?
Oh, well, Tharia's already starting off in a hole for me. For starters, she's another fucking Fire Emblem character. So, she's down 0-1. Or 1 strike. She also has like a weird obsession with the player, which, would kind of be 0-2, because I think that's a sign of just poor writing in general. But apparently it's in character.
It is canon.
It is
Yeah.
incredibly canon.
So, okay.
She reincarnates into the game that Rinka is from, and her reincarnation is in love with the player character there too.
So I can accept it. She's probably going to be pretty popular because if people are jacking it to Moon, then they have no issues with sticking their dick in Crazy. So they're going to be a-okay with the attention that she lavishes on the player.
sticking their hypothetical dick in Crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
They're
guess
digital dick and crazy.
Does she get obsessed with a female player too?
Her reincarnation does.
I meant in SPNatI. I don't give a shit about Fire Emblem.
Oh, I don't know.
Does anybody
Imagine
know?
playing as girls in games. Omega lol.
That would be something to ask Solitaire.
Solitaire next episode confirmed.
Had you ever been able to play as a male character in Toho?
No, I just know that Solitaire sometimes picks the girl in SPNatI.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, anyway. Let's see. So other than that, I mean, I think she's pretty well done in terms of what she sets out to do. It doesn't particularly appeal to me. And it's not even like, I noticed myself paying a lot of attention to her in that way. Like, she had a pretty strong gimmick compared to like some of the other new characters who feel kind of generic. You can tell what she's going for, and she does it pretty well. Although she could definitely use more generic lines because she starts to feel repetitive with some of them. My main problem with it is that, the fact that she's not interested even slightly in the other characters and it's just a huge bitch to them. I don't know, it's like she's just kind of miserable.
That's canon. That's exactly what she's like.
Yeah.
But it's fucking awful.
Well, I guess she does. You can marry her off to other characters, so it's not impossible. But she does really fixate on the player.
Like the fact that she like it's not like even that she ignores them. She like moans and complains that they're doing things. It's just really grating.
That's exactly what she's like.
Well, it's like okay, you need to like better characters then. I hate to be so blunt, but it's a complete turnoff. It's the same problem I have with Moon, where she wants it to be all about her, and she just bitches and moans and complains whenever it's anybody else. And it's like this is a game about talking to other people, and she has no interest in anybody else. And it's like, well, yeah, okay, interest in the player is a good thing, but 9 times out of 10, she's doing nothing. Like her art's really sexy. I love the transparent bodysuit and everything, and her model and stuff. Her hair is great. Her facial expressions are good, but it's just like, I get like 9 times out of 10, she's just mopey and miserable and not getting what she wants, and it feels like she doesn't want to be there. And it's like, why I don't know, why would she pursue the player in this in this context
Because
where there's a bunch of other people getting involved.
Because she loves you, SPNatI.
Well, why would she do it here?
Because she loves you.
Wait outside the door and accost me when I leave.
SPNatI, you are a
She-
coward man and will not survive the winter.
She like watches the players sleep and stuff.
And this is the most demanded Fire Emblem waifu.
Yes.
God, this series is shit.
Well, well.
How dare you
listen.
call Rinka shit? Rinka is best girl.
I just don't understand. Why would you put this character in a crossover game that's 99% talking to other characters because they still have most of their clothes on? Because so you have to. And she doesn't want to do that. Put her in some kind of dating sim game.
SPNatI dating sim game coming 2069.
It just feels like a total mismatch and a really poor choice of character for a character that was so highly demanded.
Well, I personally, as somebody who really enjoys Fire Emblem, I can see that there's going to be a lot of fun if I can once she gets more targeting. Because thing is, while she is mostly single target sexuality towards the player character, you can marry her off to other characters. She still kind of stalks the player, even when she's married. Yes, SPNatI, it is.
I mean,
NTR.
like,
It is the exact opposite of everything you stand for.
I mean, you kind of have to bend characterization in a lot of ways to put them in a game like this. A lot of characters, anyway, for them to even show up. So, I mean, could you be a little more willing to bend characterization so she has even the slightest interest in what's going on outside of the player stripping? Because most of the time, that's not happening.
What if the player was like reincarnated as another character? Like, what if Ryu
She's
was
not
the
even
reincarnate?
She doesn't even get excited when it's her turn. Like, oh, I'm gonna strip for you, player. Like, she doesn't even. She moans about that.
Yeah.
It really brings the mood down. And like, I know she's hot, but I just don't want to pick her if she's just gonna bitch the whole time.
That sounds like an issue with the character rather than the
writer.
Yeah, because I can promise you, this is exactly what she'd be like in the situation.
Well, that's really disappointing.
Yeah, well, for you, I am fairly certain that
It would be painful.
I wouldn't be
For
surprised
you.
if the dude behind her, Floor, is willing to like at least take our advice and do stuff with it, because he's already put out a couple of updates. I mean, the new Fire Emblem game just came out.
What,
So,
2 days ago?
Today. Yeah.
Today?
Yeah, it's all I've been doing before the podcast. I woke up, I checked my mail, I put it in, I started playing. I'm suppressing the urges to start working on a new character from it solely because I know that SPNatI will be upset.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
Anyway, Tharia. I think Tharia is pretty good. I think she's in character. I can understand why SPNatI doesn't like her. She's definitely not a character for everybody.
Might I mention, the first thing I did when I played her was put on Crazy Chicks. But I mean, how could you not? Just immediately started blasting it. It was great. I like her. Tharia's hot.
See, I see like a character like Jury as a lot better of an example of that because she's crazy towards everybody. So she has something to say to those people.
All right.
All right.
That is it.
And I believe that's it.
We gotta go to our upcoming projects.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Opal, why don't you start us out?
I wish I could say a Nehru update was in the works, but at the moment, I think Larshell. What is it? I might still I'm still on the hook for doing her art, so who knows? Maybe more alts are in the future. But she's got a summer alt that's, as far as I know, just ready to go. Leggy is probably getting some new poses and custom interactions, whether or not she gets sponsored. Which, by the way, she's up for sponsorship at the time of this recording. So
Make sure you don't sponsor her, okay? This is our last chance to stop the furry menace.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it tonight as I play Free House.
We need to build a wall.
there's no more. There's no more sponsorship denials per se. So all you can do is leave a fake sponsorship, but in the problems part, say she's a sheep, fix that, and I can just ignore that one.
We need to build a wall, and E261 is going to pay for it.
Oh no! No.
But I think after that, honestly, I'm considering just doing an internal update on Nehru to change the way her whole gimmick is handled, if I even keep it in at all, and just make it so that targeting people with her is 100 times easier, so that hopefully I can get myself to work on her, or else foist her off onto someone else. One of the two.
One of the two.
I think that's about it for me.
Alrighty.
I would be willing to do the squirrel, but I don't think I've got it in me to write another girl.
All right.
That's fair.
Uzu, do you have any upcoming projects, or are you gonna
Weren't we
let
supposed to
Leggy
call
be?
him Sheep Rider this whole time?
No,
No.
he doesn't want
Fine.
it. He doesn't want it to show up if you look up his username, but you can't really type in Uzumoe and have audio come up as results, so it's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
So Uzu's upcoming projects. I have some secret posing and models that I'm working on. Quints are being worked on with Faraway Vision. He's just waiting on the models from me. Those are taking a while to do because I'm trying to keep up with the ever-changing
Meta.
meta, yeah. So I'm working on that. Super secret projects for posing in Kisuke that will need writers eventually. Yeah, that's it. Oh, and Leggy sponsorship, please.
No.
Yes.
Please.
Open the door.
Let them in.
Bananon, what about you?
Well, I've been talking about the Maya and Jura model updates for a while, and the other shoe has dropped, so I guess I can't say that at this part anymore. Really, I think it's just going to be more maintenance. I think they've had their art touch up, and I think they could use a dialogue touch up too. So it's probably just going to be a lot of sort of using a lot of their newer poses more, so it's a lot more spread out. And just in general, trying to nail down their voices a little better, polishing up their generic lines. Since a lot of those are just some of the oldest lines I've ever written, and I could do a much better job now. So there'll be some of that. Targeting all the new characters, because God, I'm like a year behind now on that shit.
Target Leggy, you fuck.
I'll get to it. I just spent like a whole month changing two models. Two models with like 200 poses each and 2 epilogues each. Give me a fucking break.
To be fair, I think Revi does reply to Leggy a little bit.
I'll get to it. So anyway, yeah. That's up next for me. Nothing big. Just plugging away.
Leggy.
I'm in the dialogue trenches once again, and it's a never-ending journey.
100,000 lines on Mayo when
Not soon enough.
All right. I guess my upcoming projects have stayed the same. I've added one new character to the list. Is Gundam Tanaka from Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair.
Oh, good.
That
Another
Came up-
Danganronpa character.
listen,
They
listen,
inhabit like 90% of our
listen.
roster.
You thought
Fire
Kamina,
Emblem.
you thought Kamina was self-inserting. You haven't seen anything yet. This is a character I was born to
What would
write.
this game look like if Fire Emblem and Danganronpa just didn't exist?
Maya and Jura.
What would
I mean-
people have to do?
Ruby.
Where would all
Listen.
these characters come from?
There's a reason that these characters get made. It's because people like them. That people find them entertaining, and they're close to people's hearts. These characters are enjoyed for a reason. SPNatI.
Also, there might be more furries.
So, okay.
I'm not gonna say that you can't enjoy those things. I'm just gonna say you look at it and say,
You're a coward.
you know, there's 3 of them already. Maybe I should just pick something else.
I'm gonna make Gundam Tanaka, and it's gonna be fun.
You
I
need
can't- I-
everybody needs that little voice in their heads, Joe, that
Yeah,
says
no,
maybe
the-
I shouldn't do that, and then you
the
listen
voice,
to it,
the voice is there. I just took it out
and then you
back,
stop
and I
yourself.
shot it. I shot it in the goddamn face.
You stop yourself.
Listen, Gundam Tanaka is a character
Say
that
everybody needs that little part of them. It's like enough is enough.
Gundam Tanaka is a character that I will that I want to write. And anyway, the reason that how I ended up picking up that project is Cog and I have been talking about updating the Mahiro epilogue for a while. And that means that we have to update all the models. We're not going to update all we're probably not going to update a lot of the crossover selfie. We're definitely updating the Class 77 selfie. And that means that we need to make more updated models of all the Danganronpa 2 cast. So I've been doing that. And let me just drop a picture of what I've got so far.
Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah.
I literally cannot imagine doing all this model work for one goddamn image.
Well, it's more than just that. It's also practice. Like, now that I've made these models, I can apply their tech to future models. So I've been doing that. I'm real proud of how they look.
Oh yeah, no, they all look amazing.
They've been hell to get right, especially
Big old fat
Byakuya.
guy.
Yeah. Byakuya and
Look at those
Chihiro.
fucking thighs.
Yep.
That's what you call a thigh gap.
Nope. So that's what I've been doing. And I'll probably be updating some models as well. I believe Nmasp and Napsu would requested some help updating Sei and Streaming Chan's models. So
Heyo. Heyo.
I control myself. Control. Breathe.
I think it's best that I
The hits keep on coming.
Joe, put me in
Yeah.
contact now.
Well, I haven't made them yet. I've got a lot of other stuff to do.
Let me make them. I can do it.
Do you want to?
Maybe. Perhaps.
I guess that's a question for Nmasp.
Put me in contact with him. I'll put this
Okay.
part in, of course, but
What?
Patch him in.
Okay. That's all for me. Gundam Tanaka is being made. SPNatI be damned. Let's move on to the questions and answers. First question is.
It's only been, what, 2 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours.
1 hour, 44 minutes. Favorite
This is
bit?
the longest it's ever taken to get to the questions and answers.
We've had a lot to go over, and I'm sure that I'll be editing some of it out or towards the end.
Such as my complaints about Fire Emblem, you fucking fascist.
No, I will leave it in.
Let people know that you are a coward.
Okay. First question is favorite tidbit of SPNatI history.
Get good update.
Oh
Paul?
yeah, I didn't even think about the heroes update. I should probably say that just to make Cog feel better, because for some reason he doesn't realize that he's good. But honestly, I kind of appealed back to the server. I phoned a friend on this one and realized, yeah, I really like the reason behind the no real people rule, because there's like actual lore. I don't
Would you
want.
like to explain?
There's lore behind every single rule.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't want to use like names, but suffice to say, as a like drive-by introduction, people just kind of used to show up and ask to be made for SPNatI.
Yeah.
Because they definitely bring a unique niche to the game.
Gross pervy guy, number 12, who looks like they're fucking 13.
All right.
Oh.
Uzu, what about you? What's your favorite bit of lore?
Oh, anything spicy. Anything that causes a bit of a discourse on the Reddit. It's fucking beautiful.
It's not for me. I have to moderate it. That's on the Discord.
Imagine being a moderator. This game was made by Contributor Gang.
I gotta say the Videl age drama. Either that or the one guy that got really angry that he couldn't call his OC Jasmine because there was already a character called Jasmine.
And now we have 3 Alices.
And he posted these long self-aggrandizing rants or some shit. The point in time where the subreddit was the main discussion hub was, that was a wild ride. You read some of that shit, it was just the Wild West. And so little of that era remains in the game now. Because it was just all shit. All of it.
Is that your favorite?
We've grown up so much.
Is that your answer, though? Is that your favorite history moment? The Jasmine
I don't know, I was just spitballing stuff.
I'd say one of my favorite moments was Viz just joining and like, oh, here's what's wrong with your code. Now it's
instantly.
infinitely faster.
You kids don't even remember the toaster table.
The toaster table.
The game was so poorly optimized, it started to chug once we got like better quality characters with more lines. Literally how it worked was every single time it had to pull up a line and pose assignment, it literally read the entire behavior file for each character again.
Thank you, Viz.
So imagine
Does Viz listen to this?
It's
I
so
think so.
so like internet browsers started to use like a gigabyte of RAM. Because of
Yikes.
how many fucking times it had to read the same behavior files that were several megabytes over and over and over and over again.
And that was still on Firefox?
Yes.
Oh
So this
god.
was
And
happening right
at
up
least Chrome just uses a fucking gigabyte of RAM no matter what.
right up until like June 2018.
That's right around when I joined. Huh. I'm an old man.
All right. Next question is, what music, if any, do you listen to when playing SPNatI?
I listen to absolutely nothing, and as has been stated, I hardly play SPNatI anymore.
I listened to literally anything. I was just listening to the PSP version of all the Final Fantasy 1 songs. That's why I had Final Fantasy on the mind, and I brought it up with Lamius. Or Lamius.
I've had nothing really. Well, I'm playing SPNatI. Like maybe sometimes I'll listen to some Ken Ashcorp or like some Searle. They're like, but other than that, nah. MTC, bro.
I guess for me, it depends on what I'm in the mood for.
The Proto Man albums.
I default to the Proto Man or
Fucking nerd, called it, bro.
or anything by Hiroyuki Sawano. But that's just what I'm always listening to. Just the same shit I'm always listening to. Some days I'm in a mood for Pokemon. A lot of the time I have rainy mood, ambient noise going on in the background.
Lo-fi hip hop beats for you to chill and study to.
No, I really like I like the rain, so I just like having that noise going on.
I got you.
Sometimes I'm listening to like Pokemon music, sometimes Fire Emblem music. Not often is it lyrical stuff. I find it hard to get in the mood when there's lyrics in the background for some reason.
The mood.
Well, you know what I mean.
The mood.
When I'm deving for SPNatI stuff, I have no issues putting on like lyrical stuff. But when I'm playing, it's mostly instrumental.
Strangely enough, I've always had this issue when I'm working. I can't really listen to anything. Like if I'm trying to listen to like a album while I'm doing an essay, can't fucking do it. I tried writing Legu and listening to like something. I can't remember what, and it wasn't Beep Beep. I'm a sheep, motherfuckers. I ended up writing lyrics as I'm fucking listening to them.
Yeah, I lots of people have that problem where they write what they hear.
I always listen to music when I write. I really
listen
do
to
anything.
music. Yeah, like if I hate the sound of silence.
The sound
like
of
the song?
Uh,
silence.
No, it's a good song.
That was my middle school emo jam, bro.
No, mine was You're Gonna Go Far Kid. Alright, next question. Do you think we'll ever get another true OC into the main game? Well, Paul?
Unless it's Alice.
I mean, that would be. Does she count as another if she was already in the game? Anyway, sorry. I think we could. It's just, as always, it's the thing that an OC will always have like a higher barrier for entry, and especially with the quality of characters spiking up in recent months, that's going to be progressively harder and harder and harder to make one that not only people can like, but that they, care about more than the waifu they already know. I think I would be able to give it a good old college try, but again, I don't know if I'll.
Varma, 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 Varma,
I
Varma,
don't know if I'm learning
Varma,
another character.
Varma.
Varma is a
Varma.
furry, by the way.
The squirrel.
Yes, a character, I believe, made by Opal.
Design was by someone else, right?
Yeah, the original design was Dr. Comet, who I think disappeared from the internet in 2016, which is a shame because I like his art style. But then
Did he
I
died?
kind of stole his character and gave her a lot more than he gave her. Because he gave her a background as a mountain siren, essentially. And I decided no.
No, that bed. I want squirrel in bed.
So, do you think we'll ever see one, though? Another one?
I think we can. I have no idea if we will. Honestly, if I just had to spitball, I would say it's not too likely, specifically because it's a lot harder to tackle. So odds are somebody who just shows up with their OC, which is where most of the OCs are going to come from, are just going to get too intimidated because even if they get them to testing, they're going to hit a wall when people start pointing out this character doesn't stick out much. And then the more experienced creators will typically have, other waifus to pursue, or else be getting to the point where they don't really want to keep creating indefinitely. But that's, I guess, just my thoughts. So,
Alright. Usu, what about you?
Unless it's a Grape Alice made by Warrior of Odin. No, it's not happening. No, people may show up with OCs and be like, "Hey, this is my OC," but it's just gonna be like, "Okay, question mark." Like, what's special about her? I think Odin did a very, very good job of making an interesting character that's cute and people like. But I think if it's just like a random person, like, hey, look at my OC, unless it's on par or above with Alice, then I don't think it's going to happen.
All right. SPNatI, what about you?
I'm curious what motivated this question. Like, who was wondering, oh yeah, there's no way that we'll ever get an OC into the game, or another one at least. To be fair, thinking about it, yeah, we really haven't had one in a while, have we?
We've not. We see lots of people posting their OCs and whatnot, but they never get off the ground.
I mean, I think Joey, the clown, was like the last OC to even be submitted at all. I mean, she got into the main game, but has there even been one submitted to testing after her?
Nope.
At all. Damn. So that's been like a year now since we've had any OCs whatsoever actually get into the game in any capacity. And before that was Ayala, and then Angie. So all in 2018. And before that, there were a few, but they're generally regarded pretty poorly now, such as Bai and Caleb, two of the most cursed
Caleb
to ever make it in. Alice was in 2018, but she didn't make it off testing. So, I mean, really, like, I mean, it's weird to think about. Like, yeah, we haven't really had any. So, but I never had the impression that like it was impossible to make one. I don't know. It just seems like coincidence that we haven't had one. So,
yeah,
you know, really, if someone just wants to make it happen, then make it happen. But it's true, we haven't had one in a while.
Yeah, it's not an impossible thing. It's you get to design them, and we've seen tons of people like post images of like, this is my OC. I've had tons of people ask, hey, is it okay for us to make an OC? But nobody ever ends up reaching the finish line.
Writing 600 lines is hard. Writing 1,200 is even harder.
So I definitely think it's possible.
It's definitely possible. It just takes determination.
Next question for Opal and Uzu. If they want, how did you come across and get into SPNatI?
I honestly don't even remember the way I like got into it. It was a while ago. I mean, of course, you can imagine the sort of mindset I was in, but I think I was just like Googling that, like, basically strip poker games online that you could play with cartoon waifus, and lo and behold, I found one. And it seemed pretty cool, so I stuck around, played a bunch, and then found out there was a Discord. And then there was no turning back.
Yeah, once you get there.
We were locked into this timeline, and unfortunately, there is no salvation for us anymore.
All right. Uzu, what about you?
So I got in the game through another creator who didn't exactly leave on good terms.
The best of terms, yeah.
Yeah. Andrew, who I don't want to say made, what's her name? Cat chick, white hair.
Felicia.
Yeah, because he apparently had stolen the models, all that kind of stuff, bad stuff. So, but he introduced me to the game. I was interested in making 2B at the time. So he was like, join the Discord, talk to them. It's like one of the forbidden waifus. They will love you. And the rest is history.
All right. So now, I want to answer? Because I feel like we've been over it before.
Yeah,
We've
I'll
been
just
going for some time.
I'll just give the TLDR. Like, yeah, it's just I saw it on 4chan's adult cartoons board, ACO, and I was they were arguing about mod drama with Videl and whether she needed to be aged up, and I really liked Videl because I like Dragon Ball and Videl is cute, and I just thought it was cool how a porn game could have like this huge community around it with all these personalities and people arguing about that sort of thing and like getting really heated about it, and it just seemed like really people really cared about the quality. So that was interesting to me.
I saw the Ruby Girls on the Ludi subreddit, and I'm like, oh, it's open source! Neat! And then I wrote Rinka.
And a very, very cursed beach epilogue.
That came later, actually. That was not
Leave his epilogue be.
It was not part of the initial Rinka.
Bring the beach epilogue back for the summer event.
Dude, I need to finish my summer alt, but I keep getting distracted with other stuff. And now there's a Fire Emblem game in my Switch, on my bed. Like, I can move my hands to the right 3 inches, turn on the power button, and start playing. My productivity is about to be through the floor.
That is okay.
No, it's not. Alright. Surprisingly, I've seen several instances on the social Discord where people want to sponsor a character but aren't willing to do so because they don't feel they understand how to do it, and/or fear screwing the sponsorship up. What would the best way to reply to those people, and in general, do you think there is anything that could or should be done to make it easier for people to sponsor characters? Paul?
Well, this one's kind of interesting to me because, like, I can understand on the one hand, you definitely don't want it to feel like a homework assignment, but also on the other hand, you don't just want like anyone to be able to how do I put it? You want the sponsorship to actually like mean something and not just be like, "Oh, I like her. Go right ahead."
You're cool, get in.
So, like, especially like essentially you kind of just need it to have proof that they in fact played the character, basically. So it's not just like, hey, I recognize that character. The model looks good enough. Yeah, it's just quick pass her in. Let's just get this over with. And I kind of lean away from the first argument, the first position of I don't want it to be a lot of work, because in the like I guess you could say the nature of it, the creator is always going to be putting in a lot more work than the people who sponsor the character. So I almost kind of feel like, yeah, if you're willing to, if you're not willing to reciprocate the work they put into the character, then I guess you don't care enough about the character's quality. Like they don't stand out enough to you, so it almost stands as like its own test of fire, I guess you could say, trial by fire.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. I don't know if basically I don't even know if not even about what could be done to make it simpler. I don't know if anything should be done to make it simpler, but also my thoughts aren't very ordered. So,
Izu, what about you?
All right, so I can understand how how going for a sponsorship can be a big deal. Like you're trying to get them into the game, but if you think they're ready to be in the game, then you need to handle it as such. You need to be able to handle it professionally, and you need to be able to handle it like the creator. Now, just please like my character. Like explain why you think it's a good choice to be in the game. And I'm sure like even if you're confused, a mod would be more than happy to explain it to you. Like, all right, this is how you do it. We're not going to fucking bite your hands off. I mean, if you think it's ready for the game, then be ready to put in the work to get it. And if you want to help sponsor a character, like, hey, I want to help sponsor this, but I don't think I can do it properly. Then look at other sponsorships. Look at how other people have replied. Go look at self-plug. Go look at Leggy's sponsorship. Hopefully, by the time that this is posted, she'll have replies.
She has 2 sponsorships right now.
She does? Okay, I've been off of Reddit for a couple days.
Come on, Uzu.
No, hush.
He's been moving.
Yeah, I have been moving.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
So, yeah, that's, I guess, my thoughts.
Banana, what about you?
Well, I gotta agree. I'm pretty surprised by that as well. Like, I know people can sometimes feel like intimidated socially, but like, literally, there's a template telling you exactly what to write. You know, like, I don't know how you could make this any easier, dude. Like, listen, no one gives a shit whether or not you sponsored a character correctly. The worst thing that could possibly happen is the poster replies to you and be like, "Oh, well, you actually need to add in these details," and then you just add in those details. Nobody's going. There's not going to be 20 people descending on you and being like, this fucker's stupid asshole didn't write the sponsorship right. Like, I can't think of something that random people would care about less.
I think there is a misunderstanding in the fundamental way that it goes.
Like, how serious do you think this operation is? Like,
I think a lot of people assume that only creators can sponsor characters.
How do you think people
true,
become
and that's
creators?
Because only creators ever do.
Yeah, well, and if it's not only creators, it's like there's 2 or 3 other people.
That's kind of why I don't sponsor much, because I want to get other people involved. Like, I give my feedback all the time.
Yeah. Like, obviously, you and I host this podcast. We're always talking about the new characters. Like, yeah, if it's not one of the creators, it's like there are a few other people who do it. Like on the Discord, AVS Josh, I think. See, thing is, like, now there were a ton of people who used to not be creators that are now. Like
Uzu!
Like Uzu and Pharaohs and Bowen or Gur, the guy who made
Pharaohs wrote Mr. Clean.
Like, no, that was Zuja.
That was Zuja that wrote Mr. Clean?
Pharaohs wrote Show Tucker.
Oh yeah, he did.
But like, yeah, I feel like there's just an assumption that only creators can sponsor characters. And I'm not sure how you can go about making it obvious that that's not the case. That anybody do it. That it's way better that we have non-creators doing it.
To be fair, I think on almost all of my sponsorship requests, I've pretty much just said, "Hey, if you don't like have your sponsorship typed out, just feel free to chat," and no one ever does.
Even the term sponsorship isn't very intuitive. Intuitive? Fuck it. You know what I mean?
Intuitive.
It just depends on the like background you come from. It makes sense readily to me, but there's a couple of reasons for that.
Okay. I guess let's move to the next question. I'd like to make a certain character for SPNatI, but I feel like she'd be entering a niche that's already well occupied by excellent creators. How would I go about making it distinct and interesting?
I'd say from the outset, that's targeting something that's already really difficult, like a really high bar. Like the one example I can go with as based on the feedback poll, since Leggy just barely made it in for that, is that if there were already, I don't know, let's say like 2 or 3 Southern Belles in the game, and let's say Leggy was actually like the 4th or 5th furry character, she wouldn't, in her current form, she would have hardly anything, if anything, to offer the game in terms of like a new thing. So,
She's
like,
a furry.
in that respect, I don't really have much to even answer because I don't know. In that case, I would probably pick a different character personally, but that doesn't help if you still want to make that specific character. Like, if there were a sudden flood of furry characters, I would kind of just sit there like, well, I can't help anything. I can't add anything new anymore. So I hate that my advice there is essentially give up. I don't think that's always the right course of action. But
okay, well, I can give an anime speech later. Uzu, why don't you share your thoughts?
So if you're trying to enter a character into a well-occupied niche, don't worry about it. Go ahead and make them, and as long as you make them that character and doesn't feel like you're playing 3 other characters at the same time, like it should be fine. Like if you make the character good, then she's going to stand out by herself, whether or not she's filling an already occupied niche. That's my thoughts.
All right, SPNatI.
To be honest, without going into more detail in terms of who this character is and what their niche is and who else occupies it, it's hard to give any kind of concrete advice for making them distinct because you didn't even describe them.
Yeah, I kind of agree here.
Yeah, I think you need to give us a little more to work with, to be honest. There you go. You got to make your question more distinct.
All right.
But let me just say that like if the personality itself is a pretty strong archetype already, then just go to the source. What makes the source unique? How does your character take that archetype and spin it a different way? And like what I was saying before, like it can only come out of your character's mouth. Well, even if their personality isn't all that unique, then just make their approach to the game different. What's their motivation for being there, or what's how does their source treat them? What is their role in the source? It can't possibly, like, it's not like everything can possibly be the same, unless your character is just a complete shameless ripoff of another character. Like something has to be different. So just keep digging down until you find what it is. And it's not like every single thing has to make it unique in that way, because there's a reason that archetype is popular is that it's something that people like. So you can still play that up, and it's just
Cough, crazy chicks, cough.
Whatever is the unique thing. Whenever you think that they're being a little too generic, just throw that in.
I will agree with Uzu and SPNatI of Sith. Even if the niche has already been occupied. Okay, first off, if the character you're worried about is not being updated by an active author, you're fine. Go ahead. Don't even worry about it. You're worrying about nothing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If it's a character going with an active author, there might be some worth in actually just straight up going to the person writing them and saying, hey, I've got this character that I really like, and I want to make them for the game, but they're pretty similar to the character you've written. Do you have any advice on how I could make them different? I've had some people talk to me about this, not about any of my characters in particular, but just like your characters will always, they're from a different world. Like, there's tons of like Futaba and Chiaki are both gamer girl bathwater, but like they're completely different worlds. Like
Johan or Joe, would you drink Chiaki's bathwater?
I would do it without a second thought.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no, I do it. Chiaki's from a murder mystery. Futaba's from a fucking what's it called? Like a rural RPG where it's like
it's a JRPG.
No, but like the specific genre is like urban fantasy. Like,
isn't that more the style?
It's
or
a normal
the
world,
theme?
And then magic exists one day, like Earthbound, kind of. They're completely different genres. So like, how one character would react to like say Chiaki, if she met a punch girl like Rinka, like she could like be reminded of her classmate Akane. Meanwhile, Futaba wouldn't, because she doesn't know any strong punch girls like Rinka. She knows Mikoto,
which is a shame.
It's pretty different. So there's like that. Like the characters could remind them of parts of their life or different people that they've met that people in similar niches wouldn't. You can also like again, like characters are like if it's from a different source, like then you're also fine with like playing up parts from that source. So really, it's just like if it's not an active author, don't worry. If it's a character that's made by an active author, try asking them directly how you would go about making them different. And also think about targeting and how your character might react to other characters in ways that the character you're worried about being too similar doesn't. That's my answer to that. Alright, here's a question. I wonder what spurred this one. Should active SPNatI creators be more transparent about what projects they're working on?
I don't know if I fully understand the question. I don't see
Is it okay to keep projects secret?
Of course. I don't.
Why would it not
much
be
more
okay?
to elaborate. Yeah, no.
Well, SPNatI, do you not remember last podcast? When I was being all secretive about the zone update?
Well, that just pissed me off because you were being smug and annoying.
Fair, but this person
Don't do that.
This person is asking, is it okay? But basically, I guess they're asking is, should we announce when we have a project in the work?
Not necessarily.
You don't have any obligation to do that.
No, you shouldn't. No, it's completely up to the person, and if they don't want to do it, then it's not your place to say that. Hey, you have to tell people. No.
I didn't
Ridiculous.
tell anyone I started making a Quagmire model until I was done with it. So
Well, you should have told us that so we could stop you.
I largely agree with you, but I can understand an exception to the rule. I can
guess
imagine,
maybe if you're talking about creating like a what the term, I guess, forbidden waifu, then be like, okay, maybe see if anyone else is working on it, or not necessarily reserve a spot, but save someone work if they want to do something that's already being done.
I think that if say imagine that we have some guy who's never made a character before, and he announces that he joins the Discord, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna work on fucking
2B?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with 2B just as an example. It's like, I'm gonna work on 2B. I've already got 300 lines." And then, lo and behold, he didn't realize that Cog has already put in a merge request. He's been working on 2B secretly this entire time. And there she is on the table, and that dude's wasted his time. That's a very hypothetical situation.
Oh, is Cog working on 2B?
No.
No.
Are
Sadly.
you sure?
Sadly, no.
A more realistic scenario is more like Yuri Doki Doki, where we've just gotten to the point where everybody's working on her, but nobody's working on her, and it's just fucking ridiculous.
That's
and it
I
makes
say
me laugh.
that's
how I love
it's
it.
like if you don't get them out in time before someone else does, then it's
on you.
It sucks for you. Too bad, so sad.
I want to see how the mods handle people trying to make the same character.
Well, I mean, we've already had it happen with Misty.
Well, that's two different versions of the same character, though. I mean, literally the same character.
Literal same character.
Yeah.
Yuri Doki Doki, Yuri Doki Doki, or 2B and 2B, or not fucking bitch motherfucker from episode 3, and bitch motherfucker from episode 3.
A2? Oh, no. Okay.
What? Did you just call me Weedzu?
No, I said A2. I thought you were talking about No, you're talking about Young. Okay. Never mind, I get it.
Yeah, no, fuck A2.
Wow, Yuri's gonna...
and that's already been established.
I feel like they'll handle it just the same way we handle it. I don't see why it would be that different, honestly. It's the same character. But also, I don't see the point. I don't think anyone actually will ever do that. Unless they've already both started work separately, completely independently from each other. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it being an issue. So there's no reason to announce everything you're working on. It's fine. Alrighty. Next question is, what is one thing you wish would be changed about Kisekai? Not added, changed.
You're precluding all the best answers for the question. But you know what? My number one thing is anything better. Okay, the one specific. I wish I knew the number. The one specific glow accessory. Make it a better accessory. We need better gradients and glows in accessories. We have amazing ones on face marks, but just there's only like that and maybe the leaf if you want a gradient for body mark. It's just not. It's not no bueno. We need better accessories. Also, hands and mouths and stuff. But
Alright. Yuzu, what about Yuzu?
Let us fucking put face marks on the body. Let us do it.
that's a new
Enough.
feature.
Isn't that
It's not
an
a feature.
addition?
No.
Is
Change
it?
it so it lets us put it on there.
Where did you get the judge's ruling on
they
this?
did with ribbons, right? Just do with face marks what he did with ribbons, and make it so you can attach them to the body. I guess that's a
It would
change.
make
Yes.
all of my
Yes.
models so much better.
Please,
But there's
I'm
a specific
so,
reason for that.
I need to make tattoo waifus, please. Also, if Hex is listening to this, fuck you.
Hex
Tattoos are
doesn't
good.
listen to the podcast.
I'll make him listen to it just to hear me say, just for him to hear me say "fuck you."
One
Tell
day
them to
we'll get
skip
him
to
on.
the 2.5 hour mark.
I will find a way to get Hex podcast. I have plans. I have methods. Banana, what about
Are you just gonna say that there's big titty milk here?
No, I'll just see if I can get him on when doors on.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Probably the
Alright,
easiest
whatever.
solution.
But then they're
Banana.
just gonna go to the schmoopy the whole time.
That would be hilarious. Anyway, Banana.
Be fucking painful. It'd be more painful than having two furries on.
Welcome to the inner circle of Yiff, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're with them. Goddamn
Yeah.
sandy cheeks. I'm gonna burn down this whole podcast. Even if I die with it, it was worth it.
So, Banana, what's your answer?
Discord died. So Discord died.
Not added or changed. I can't think of anything that's not just a feature addition, so I'm going to go with something that should be removed.
The reset button. The
You
reset
didn't say
button?
that you can't delete stuff.
No, that's fair.
Reset button, please be gone.
That would be good, except I've never hit that.
What's your answer then?
I'm going to say delete 95% of the mouths, the shitty ones. That way I don't have to keep scrolling through all of them.
Crease mouth.
Just delete
Okay.
them. Just get rid of them. Don't even give people the temptation.
So that gives me a second answer and a third. So my first.
I'm gonna do Google Translate shit over to Pochi. I'm gonna tweet at him. I'm gonna be like, these are the only good mouths. Delete the rest. And he's gonna be like, you're right. They are shit.
so
No,
my-
he won't. He gave us pockets.
My first answer was I wish we
Put
had
those
better.
mouths in the pocket.
I wish we had better layering. God, it's
Yes.
so annoying to layer things in this program.
Why the
It
fuck?
is-
Okay, that's a good choice. Let me ask you something. So some things you can layer with just like a straight axis, like 0 to 1,000. Why isn't everything that?
It should be. It should be like with 500 being the tipping point. Everything behind that goes behind them. So turn everything into an image import in order to make it so they can have a cape or a coat or a hood.
Why isn't literally everything on that layering axis? That way you don't have to like move 20 hair pieces down because you need to put one up.
Okay. Second, there should be an option to punch in a number so that I don't have to scroll all the way from hairpiece 1 to 34.
Oh, I know
Can't you just
something that
hold
could
it
be
down?
changed.
Yeah, I can, but like whatever. It's a convenience thing. The
You
big
can,
thing
but if you're scrolling up 50 belts takes forever.
I know something that can be deleted.
What?
Delete the whole like. When you okay, well, it depends because sometimes it's helpful. But when you're clicking within an axis and you go to a specific value, so many times where I'm trying to like do surgery and just change the ticks a little bit with the arrows, and then I accidentally click into there and I hit the absolute
The
extreme on the
1,000.
axis,
Yep.
and that fucking sucks. Oh,
Which
another
is-
one thing
Just
I really
delete the whole fucking program.
one
Just
thing I
delete it.
really want to be added. I know I'm breaking the question here, but I just got to air out my dirty laundry. Please, for the love of fuck, when you select any hairpiece, belt, whatever, could it please briefly highlight what it is? So I don't have to keep clicking a visibility on and off, toggling it, just so I can see which fucking one it is, because I don't remember.
Yeah, but that'll give you a seizure.
Give us better muscles.
Well, yeah, actually, but that's adding. Another thing, I wish that I could. So what I meant earlier was like, I wish I could go from like the hairpiece number 1, the little antenna, and then like I have to scroll through, and then I get to like hairpiece 22, which is the triangle. But also, I want the thing that you guys I meant, where I just want to move belt 1 to slot 1 to slot 57 without having to press the up key 56 times or
That'd be
manually exporting the code and changing all the numbers.
That'd be nice.
I'd
like that.
Dude, the Danganronpa 2 models I've been making have been using all 94 hair slots, and it's fucking ridiculous having to move one piece of hair all the way down
I had to
30
do that shit with
slots.
my Andra.
Well,
Also, he says 94 because hair slots 1 through 5 lag the shit out of the game if you use them.
yeah, so like Hajime's hair is two-toned. I properly shaded that, but I didn't plan ahead properly. I don't have 5 million IQ. So like
I know, I literally just add pieces as I need them haphazardly.
and that
Yeah.
means that at some points there's going to be some times where I've got to fix the layers. And since hair pieces, you can just go 1, 2, 3 instead of that big z-axis. I'm just clicking and clicking and clicking that arrow to move it up and down for like a minute. And it's a minute of nothing productive.
It's a fucking miracle that Maya's hair turns with her head correctly. I don't know how I managed that.
It's a fucking miracle that this program even works.
It's
just
a
I feel
miracle
like
that we can get the models as close as they are.
yeah.
Oh yeah. But
Well,
I'm just
the
surprised
thing-
Bagel can do as much as he can.
It's not a complicated program. It's just a very
Poor, shitty, ugly program.
No. It works.
Kisuke
just-
is just it's hours upon hours of fitting a square peg into a round hole.
Yeah, it is a box of Legos with no instructions, and like you can.
It's a
fit
box
the-
of Legos, but like all really really awkward pieces that are not useful in any way. You got to
Yeah.
somehow build something complex out of them.
If you just
Eiffel
have,
Tower out of 4 blocks.
if you just have enough time, you'll get it eventually. But like, I feel like the interface in particular is just very, very. I mean, for online where you have 30 belts, 30 hair pieces, and 60 ribbons, it makes sense. But for us, where we've got 99, it becomes a bit more of a process.
Process and a fucking half.
Well, if you want to make an anime schoolgirl, it works perfectly.
Mm.
Yeah, but if you want to make
If you want to make a girl from K-On!, it's great.
But if you end up wanting to make Mithra, which apparently she'll be coming soon, it'll take some time.
Oh boy,
Alright.
we get to all make Rex jokes.
I'd rather die.
I
Speaking of things I'd rather die, let's talk about lollies. Some players have
I
accused.
thought it was lolies.
Whatever.
It's lolly.
Some
Is it?
players have
guess
accused
so.
mods of rewriting the rules to allow lolly characters, make it so only mods can create lolly girls, etc. Do you have the perception that letting more petite body types in game has changed over time? Do you think the rules regarding this have been consistently enforced? Paul, why don't you open this can of worms?
Thanks. I'm super happy to be the one.
You're asking the wrong people. This is the furry cast. We need to get Mystic on here to talk about lollies.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of.
And pork.
I feel so bad for Misty. We just constantly drag his reputation through the mud. He's just such a nice dude.
Well, look at his track record. He is a nice dude.
It's because he has a short.
Yeah,
Short.
He's
He's
short.
short.
He doesn't like girls that tower over him, which sadly is any girl above the age of 8.
Damn, poor Misty.
I'm sorry, Misty.
Oh.
I'm sorry. You're the best. Anyway,
Does Misty listen to this?
Yes.
Oh my god. Fuck you, Misty.
Oh, Paul, why don't you start stuff?
But to the first point of rewriting the rules to disallow lolly characters, I think that's the entire point of disallowing lolly characters. But making it so that only mods can create them, I don't even know if you'd count. What is it? What are the most like petite ones? Natsuki, Shimakaze. Like they're not even then. The models can still receive complaints of being too childlike, and stuff can be done like shrinking the head and giving them wider hips. Stuff can be done that addresses those complaints.
I
So
remember
even-
I remember seeing complaints on like the feedback poll for like 9S and stuff. It's like, well, strange that a mod character doesn't get age banned, stuff like that.
I mean, you're
'Cause
always gonna
she's
have
a
the
fucking
people who
robot.
want to overlook some things.
NMAS before abandoning 9S was asking if people would be willing to help him with a model update. I feel like partially the reason he got abandoned is because nobody came up on that.
I'll fucking take him up on it.
That's probably
Fuck
probably a bit too late.
I'll do it anyway.
But,
Yeah.
What was I gonna? Oh yeah, the other point I was gonna try to make before, because I also don't want to just sit here talking for 20 minutes. But I think the other thing is it's a lot easier to be more lenient with someone who's been a part of the community. A good example being, I don't think. I mean, there were other reasons for it, of course, but even on a technicality, I don't think anyone got upset with Leggy, despite the fact that like animals and their ages are absolutely a weird ground, because people
How old is
I've
she
been
in
here.
sheep years?
I don't know if sheep years are a thing, to be honest, but probably of age.
Neither do I.
What is the life
One just-
expectancy of a sheep?
12 years.
Well, it's like Boyhood. Took 12 years to make.
So I just like I think it's a lot easier to take someone, like assume someone's acting in good faith especially if they've already been here and made a character, than if someone just shows up with a character who's clearly not of age, just like no, it's totally fine. They're a 6,000-year-old vampire.
When does a lamb become a sheep?
I have honestly, with animals, it's probably like a year. The animals tend
If
to grow
she's a
fast, I don't
lamb,
know.
doesn't that mean she's not of age?
I have no
Hanson.
idea.
Chris
That's the
Hansen is on his way.
That is
So
the
last
name.
name.
That
Her
is the
last
name.
name is Lamb.
That is the unofficial name that 4chan gave her. That's not canon.
And it's 4chan. Of course they're gonna make some fuck shit.
Ignore that everything else I've made in her character was from 4chan.
I thought you didn't like 4chan.
Oh, I don't go there.
You just steal their content.
Yes.
Like a true Redditor.
Yeah. Have you not noticed that trend between Varma and now Leggy? It's just, I'm like, hey, you made this? I made this.
All
You're a
right.
hack fraud, Opal. You're a hack fraud and a furry.
I never denied any of those things. I'm also a coward, if you took note of that.
SPNatI, what about you?
What's the question? Oh. I honestly feel like these accusations are really unfounded because they really have been relaxed over time as far as what they'll let in. I mean, like I said, with my fucking origin story, like there used to be this argument over whether Videl was too young looking, and now we have Shimakaze and Natsuki. Like they would have gotten fucking destroyed, trashed back if Videl was questionable. Like Videl is taller, and I think she has bigger hips, and she generally just behaves in a more mature manner, and she's technically in a school uniform, but not in like the typical Japanese one where it's like a skirt. She's like in exercise spats and an oversized t-shirt, and is a martial artist and generally handles herself in a pretty mature way. So if that was an issue, and now fucking Shimakaze, whose only argument is I'm a ship from the 40s, 70-year-old ship officer, it's fine. Then I don't see what the issue is. Like, don't fuck a literal child, and you're fine.
I feel like it's pretty funny that they said, "Oh, mods are only so they can do it. None of us." Like, there's a couple of things wrong with that. First, why would they do that? How does that trail of logic work out? Only I can make it. I don't. I want to make it. I don't care. Why would you make anything you wouldn't want to consume? Why would you limit something so that only you could make it? Right? Like,
you
you
just
know what
described
I mean?
capitalism.
No. But like, this is like
This is a
Spicy.
volunteer thing.
why would if it's a thing?
Disclaimer: I am not a communist.
If it's a thing that like.
Shit.
If mods were like, "Oh yeah, lollies are cool. I'll put them in because I like them, but I don't like them enough to make other people do the work for me." That trail of logic doesn't line up.
Also, if it is a mod exclusive thing, remember that Shimakaze was in the game within like a month of Misty showing up, so he wasn't
Yeah.
modded.
Okay. Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't know Misty made Shimakaze.
Not only that.
He's not a
but-
mod now. He's just a Discord mod.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like Misty was not even a Discord mod at the time. Also, Discord mods like Yuri, Misty, Nysera, Mix, and I, we have no power.
We're
no
literally,
control.
You have no power
to
here.
make fun of.
We're literally just here to make sure that people don't throw shit at each other.
This motherfucker does it for free.
So like,
He cleans up an anime titty game server for no monetary compensation.
Sadly.
it's pretty fun most of the time.
I guess
You
he
are
gets to
feared
be in
and
mod
respected.
chat. That's the only benefit.
Yeah. I also get a plan shit. Can't wait for next April Fools.
You get to accidentally move channels when you're trying to scroll.
Yeah, it's hell.
Don't worry, I do that all
That
the
just
time on the
happened to
after
me.
hour server.
It's like, if the rules have been rewritten, they've only been laxed, and they've only been slightly laxed. So, I don't know what the issue is here. Like, there's some dudes on the Eiko thread who literally wanted, like, Kana Kobayashi from Dragon Maid. It's like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Stick your dick in literally anything.
There's a fucking difference between tiny girls like fucking Natsuki and like literal children like fucking Kana from Kobayashi.
Attending, like,
Literal children and tiny girls. Like,
yeah.
grow the fuck up, dude. Grow the fuck up.
All right.
You motherfuckers are the reason that X Hentai got taken down.
X Hentai got taken down?
Yep.
Oh yeah, the
Just-
sad
just-
panda.
Oh.
Just completely.
First Hentai
It's-
Haven.
it's like-
First Hentai Haven.
It's like the burning of Alexandria, except it's something worth giving a shit about.
Yeah. Debatable.
I mean, it was also internet censorship pieces of shit, but really, they only
Internet
They only-
censorship.
they
Why
only
stop
had an
censoring
issue.
my child porn?
hey man, child
Oh.
porn is child porn. This is just drawings.
Okay.
I'm not saying I like it, but they can have it.
Alright.
As,
Yeah, no,
as long
that's-
as I don't have to see it, and you don't.
Yeah, like my position on it is, it's a freedom of speech thing, but this is a community project, and if we say we don't want fucking kids in the game, then that's like, well, I don't want my shit that I make to be associated with that. You can go make your version of it that has that if you want it.
Yeah, no.
But you don't just force that into like something that a lot of people have an issue with. You don't force that into something that everyone is participating in.
Yep, they always say they'll go and make their own SPNatI with blackjack and lollies, but they never do.
Lolly hookers.
This is just getting depressing.
Okay, so what was the next question? I forgot.
Who would you want to be on the cast that hasn't been on?
To be as a podcast character one.
All right, hold back your nut.
just someone cosplaying 2B.
Yes.
That's you.
I will. I'll fucking like. Shit. Oh, we could get her voice actor on fucking here and be like, and then she'd be like, I'm 2B, and I'll be like,
We need, just literally coming constantly for 3 hours.
No, yeah, no.
We need Hex on here, but he's too self-conscious about his Birmingham accent. Little does he know.
Brummy accent.
Little does he know that all British people sound the same to Americans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Opal, what about you?
I said mix. He hasn't been on, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he'd want to.
Yeah, no. Mix or Hex. Mix or Hex. I assume Door's been on.
Nope.
Then Door and Door and Hex on the same podcast.
Were you just about to call him Kyle?
Yeah, I kind of was.
Dora has messaged me saying that she's interested in being on once I get Janetta back on testing.
That's fair.
All right. Anybody else got anyone? I feel like I'd really like Pat to be on, but he's expressed that he just doesn't interest him. Like, he appreciates the podcast, he listens to every episode, but like
Hi, Pat.
Being on it doesn't appeal to him. I should probably go search out some of the newer purple names. Bokuman and Floor and
Uzu.
Yeah, Uzu.
So now we have Door and Floor.
Everybody walk the dinosaur.
Oh, now we just need someone named Window. And Wall. So that way we have to the window, to the wall, to the wall, to the subject down my balls. All these females go.
2 more questions. Favorite SPNatI?
You've heard of Elf on a Shelf. Now here's Hex on a checks.
Door. Hex on a door.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, that was not a pleasant thought for me either.
All right. Favorite SPNatI meme?
Imagine Dirty talking that Brummy accent.
Oi, love, you want to get dirty.
That's just Australian.
No, there's no fucking difference.
Opal, what is your favorite SPNatI meme?
Definitely Uyun. I like that one. Thanks.
Wait,
I don't think that's a SPNatI meme.
It's a SPNatI Discord meme.
It's a SPNatI, yeah. I think the line between there is thin because the SPNatI Discord is where the memes are really born.
Yeah, like what are the only true SPNatI memes? Like,
Yet another fucking Fire Emblem character.
But that's the
Yeah,
one
no,
on
that's
the
my
Discord
that's
as well.
Wow, Mahiru.
Wow.
All the memes are cultivated through the Discord.
I mean,
Wow, Mahiro is pretty good.
Yeah. I love the Nmask doing combos on children.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
that is beautiful.
It gets
I want to get on a podcast with Mappy, please.
It gets me every time. It's funny every single time.
It's fucking hilarious. That's why.
Just like
I see this grown ass man just doing air combos on kids.
Even
God.
Even before we started escalating it to him slaughtering children for Natsu's affection, in context, it's still fucking hilarious. He shoved a kid out of the way for stuffed animal, and now he's marrying the gave the stuffed animal to. That shit's funny as hell, and we just keep escalating it.
Mappy is a fucking human being and a half. It's hilarious.
That's my favorite. It's funny every single time.
Yeah, no, I'm changing my opinion to comboing on children because that's just beautiful.
I'll edit in that story he told that like started out genuine about some kids drinking on his porch, and then he swerves it into air combos. I tried explaining it to my mom, and I just couldn't stop laughing. Anyway, final question for tonight: which characters do you think are going to rise in the resort?
I don't think it's going to change much.
I get the bizarre feeling that the ones who got art updates and reworks are probably going to rise. Don't know what could
Yeah.
possibly lead me to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Any of them? When you say rise, do you mean like their overall position, or do you mean like their personal votes? Because on the one hand, you could say like maybe they'll be brought up if they just got a really good franchise mate, but in terms of like just passively rising because what would it be? Passively rising because characters being added do worse than them. I don't think there's going to be a lot of characters who do that, because I think a lot of the characters being added are keeping up really well. But yeah, I can't begin to give a detailed prediction on the 200 character roster we have.
Yeah. For sure. Like, I don't think it's gonna like the best prediction I could give is I don't think it's gonna change much. Maybe the ones who had an art update or major overhaul are gonna get like a decent rise, but like otherwise,
I think I can say with some confidence that Rinka and Chiaki will be getting a few more votes with their newer models.
Oh god, fucking Rinka's new model. I'm nutting.
I hope
That
Based on prior resorts, I think my characters are pretty much going to stay exactly the same place.
Well, yeah, it's hard to go higher than like.
Even in votes. I think they're just going to be the same.
Yeah, but to be fair,
Because they've kind of plateaued for a while now.
but it's a very high plateau.
Yes, I'm very happy with it.
like Grand fucking Canyon Plateau, bro.
Let me look up again real quick and see what was.
Thank you to everyone who votes for them. I really appreciate the support.
Additionally, with the new models, I hopefully will have the summer alts ready to give them a bit of a push. I think that Lot now having Akka with her will probably push them forward. Team Fire Emblem having La Rochelle will probably push them forward. Saki being picked up by
Possibly
Beto.
Tharia by that point.
No, not that fast.
When's the
Maybe.
resort?
It's like next month. It's gonna be less than a month from now.
Oh shit!
Spending that on shit himself.
Saki will probably do a lot better since Beta actually put in some effort where I never did.
But she doesn't have her epilogue now.
Yeah.
Epilogue grind.
I feel like Team Persona will probably climb up some more. And if Pat can if Pat can get in the new zone model, that'll definitely climb up a bunch. And then
God, I can't wait for the new zone model.
I'm willing to bet that, well, it's Mei or Jura. One of them's first spot.
Wait, what?
Maya or Jura, one of them will be in the spot. I actually will rule out Maya taking Jura's place. I don't know. I really like the Maya model a lot.
I think hers was worse to start with than Jura's, so she had a lot higher to climb.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe that'll help. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
And with that, a little under 3.
Hey, it always is interesting.
Yeah, for real though.
Not once have I ever correctly predicted a resort, I don't think. So
well, it's impossible to predict the masses.
So
As we all know, the unenlightened masses cannot make the
Whatever I
judgment
say, it
call.
will be the opposite.
Crazy talk. All right.
All right,
That's
Gucci.
all the questions. Uzu, Opal, thank you for being on.
Hey, man, it was a pleasure being on. Got to finally hear Spananon's voice.
But not thank you for being furries.
SPNatI, thank you for being my co-host.
It's only been 33 times now.
And thank you for listening. We will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
But I think she
Uzu, you
targets
should play a
Leggy a
Final
bit.
Fantasy game.
Don't start with 13 like I did. You'll get bored.
You started with 13?
Yeah, because
Why?
like the first Sony console I owned was the PS3. So
The first one I played was 4.
like
Oh no, I played 10 minutes of a Final Fantasy game and it was 13. Oh no, I don't think it was 13.
All around.
yeah,
I don't think it was 13. I think it was the one where they come crashing in on like a train and they have to
That's
fight
13.
people and like that's 13.
It's the one that gives you almost every single party member but one at the very beginning, and it puts you in a hallway for the first. Like I feel like I played for 2 hours and it was just a hallway. Like, there's no exploring to be had.
All I know about 13 is that it's the one everyone hates. And it's got like lightning and she's like a Mary Sue or whatever. And then there's like a guy with an afro, and that's all I know.
I don't know. All I know is that like I was not invested in the game because it gave me all the party members at the very beginning, so I wasn't like, oh, who am I gonna meet later down the journey? There was no fun in that. And there was literally nowhere to explore because there were no branching paths it was boring.
Hey, I mean, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga gives you everybody right at the start.
I'll tell you what. I'll play a Final Fantasy game, but I got to choose which one.
I literally have not played any 3D Final Fantasy game, so
I'll play 14. I'll play Final Fantasy 14 online.
I feel like we gotten off topic.
A little bit.
A little bit.
don't play Final Fantasy 1 because it doesn't have any Lamias. So this whole tangent was pointless.
Well, shit.
Final Fantasy 2 was the first one to have Lamias. It had a Lamia queen that tried to seduce your main character, get him into bed, and then kill him.
What? Okay, that would have been a great death.
And then at the very end, he's like, I don't know, something about my dick isn't feeling this. And then she's like, I'm gonna kill you. And then your party rushes in and you fight.
All right,
But don't play that one either because it's shit.
You gotta go fucking with 1,000
Go on, cut that out.
Fine.
Dude, don't do it.
I'll just
leave it in.
I'll just move it to the end.